Desktop window manager is crashing. Yeah, that's how you get them hooked. Twitch is down? That's it, man. Twitch partner spotlight. One time they put me on the front page. Oh, I think I was kicking the cord too. It can't be that. You earn a living off this. Holy. See, they do care. They do want to know what this festers up. Yeah, right when you're talking about ISIS being hacked, but okay, so this is good. And that's all good.
Bathed well and kept her room tidy without much help from housekeeping. She didn't strike me as a prankster, so I believed her when she told me she'd heard horrible screams coming from the next room. I was suddenly tense. An icy knot formed in my stomach.
Oh, shit.
My mouth went dry.
Don't go near that fucking cord.
All I could do was force a small amount of saliva down my throat and try to locate my voice.
Okay, well, she didn't even have her
Needless to say,
I'm getting a lot of footage instantly.
I had a bad feeling about Mrs. Bennett's noise complaint. Had the screams come from Mrs. Ahmed in 112? Was she in some kind of trouble with her husband? I couldn't help but wonder, did I cause a fight between them? I didn't think such an innocent encounter would cause marital tension, but the look on Samir's face had been so angry. I assured Mrs. Bennett I would look into the matter, confirmed the time of her wake-up call while I had her on the line, and bid her good night and sweet dreams. Beads of sweat formed on my brow as I made our way down the hall. The couple who had stayed in room 108 had checked out this morning, and no one else had rented the room.
You're good at games.
The noises must have come from 112. I approached the door and knocked lightly at first. Nobody answered. I knocked again, this time speaking through the wall as well. Mr. Ahmed, it's hotel management. We'd like to make sure everything is all right. I heard him unlock the deadbolt and fasten the latch. He opened the door about 2 inches and peered through the crack.
All I need?
The metal latch prevented it from opening any further. Mr. Ahmed was breathing hard. Perspiration moistened his forehead, and his black hair glistened like an oil slick. All is fine, he bluntly assured me.
Okay,
I tried to peer over his shoulder into the room, but he deliberately filled every inch of the opening and cleared his throat as if to say, "Get on with it. What is this about?" A guest reported hearing a scream through the walls. I was worried Mrs. Ahmed may have taken a fall or twisted her ankle. "All is fine," he repeated, glaring at me with dark eyes. He began to close the door. "May I see her?" I asked. Just to follow up, to close the report. He stopped and flashed me an insulted expression. "She is not veiled. No visitors.
Oh, that was part.
You can close the report." He shut the door in my face. The next evening, I waited for the woman with the gorgeous amber eyes to fetch her husband some ice. Hours ticked by, and she never showed.
Yeah, is this city
I sat alone at the desk, reading a novel and trying not to notice the absence of a certain shrouded lady.
I love you, stupid.
I rubbed my arms, warming them against a chill that had lingered in the lobby all night. No matter how I adjusted the thermostat, a cold draft remained, coaxing my body hair on end like a snake charmer. I thought maybe I was coming down with a virus, because I started getting really cold, to the point where I started to shiver.
Say it.
For a moment, I thought the woman in the niqab must have slipped past me as I was reading my book, because the ice machine grumbled to life. I looked up, but nobody was there. The lone machine hurled ice cubes with a steady clink, clink, clink. It seemed louder than it ever had before, and worked aggressively, shaking back and forth as it spewed chunks of frozen water into an overflowing tray. I raised an eyebrow as I watched this mechanical wonder, an appliance that turned on by itself and whipped itself into a frenzy. "Some repairman," I mumbled. I pulled a bookmark from the drawer, set it in place, and closed the book. I could hardly concentrate with all the racket. Besides, I needed to unplug the blasted thing before the carpet got riddled with puddles. When I returned my attention to the lobby, Mrs. Ahmed was standing there. The silhouette of a robe-like dress and loose veil stuck out from behind the machine. The shapeless black figure stood stock still, mostly hidden by the possessed ice machine, as it turned out cube after cube.
Oh, what's in here?
"Ma'am?" I rounded the desk and approached her. "I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with this machine. I thought we had it fixed, but it's not, and I
It's
stopped
their
in my
fault.
tracks and began to look away. In the harsh fluorescent lighting, which Eleanor despises for the way it illuminates every speck of dirt, I tried to make out a woman's form beneath the
You
garment.
tried to make out with her. You're dirty.
It hung loose
I knew you
down
were like
to
that.
the ankle-length hemline, but eventually my eyes found the shape of a human figure
This is the
inside.
bell ringer.
Yet the fact remained that it was floating, not standing, suspended somehow midair. Where usually she wore dark sandals and socks, there were no feet, and that long black dress looked menacing as it hovered
She's
against the
invisible?
off-white walls, inches above the carpet, facing me. The air grew colder as I looked up, searching for an explanation in her amber eyes. What I saw snatched the breath from my lungs in one fell swoop of terror. Her veil was in place, tucked inside her head garb like it always was. The same narrow slits for the eyes, only
Ah, fuck.
she had none. No eyes at all. Nothing but darkness where they used to be.
Fucking.
The ice machine rumbled and roared, propelling my hysteria to new heights as she reached
Knock it
a
out.
gloved hand to her face. She wrapped her fingers around the veil and peeled it away. The face of nothingness stared back at me. An empty void inside the niqab. The lights clicked off without any theatrics, no exploding bulbs or popping circuits. They didn't so much as flicker, just instant blackness.
Yeah, so much.
My jaw chattered as the chill increased triplefold. When I couldn't take it anymore, I closed my eyes and whimpered. I stayed that way, eyes squeezed shut like a dope until the ice machine ceased its psychotic production.
Like a dope?
The buzzing of the fluorescence returned and I could see the light shining through my eyelids. I opened them and she was gone. I looked around, relieved no
just an
guests
actual
had
ghost
witnessed
wearing a
my
sheet?
cowardice, but at the same time disappointed I was alone. Nobody was going to believe me, I knew. My
It was
only
Bill
evidence
Murray.
was a mountain of ice on the floor, a mess which would only get worse the longer I waited to clean it up. I barely dragged myself into work the
No,
next
gotta
night.
clean this up.
I was wired on coffee after tossing and turning to no avail. Heavy gray bags under my eyes made me look like
You're
a washed-up
gatekeeping woman
rock star,
feelings.
only I lack a rock star's edge.
You're erasing her
I
voice.
felt scared and alone. I have close friends and family I could talk to, but I was afraid to tell anyone about my frightening encounter for fear of what they might think.
Fear of fear.
As adults, we tell ourselves that the boogeyman isn't real. The monsters in our closet were long ago exposed as frauds. There's not a blood-covered ghost in the mirror waiting for us to say her name 3 times. We tell ourselves that the deceased go to a better place, and miraculously, they all manage to get there with no trouble, as there are certainly no lost souls among us. We consider people who believe in the boogeyman to be crazy, or at least we call them names like weird and flaky.
What does he mean if you leave
That's
ice
why I
alone? I'll
decided
just
to
drink
keep this
water,
to
then you can
myself.
just drink it.
Though I had
That's part
never
of the
been so
paranormal,
scared in my
right?
life, I didn't let it show. I went about my usual routine. The hotel was busier than usual,
You
but
get
the
that
moments
C
I
word.
spent alone seemed to drag on forever. I did inventory to keep my mind busy, to avoid thinking about the invisible woman, the lady who wasn't there, whose familiar clothes floated in the air as if watching me with unseen eyes. My
Oh,
skin
save that.
grew
That
cold
thing was
each
flying.
time I thought about the frigid air that swirled around
Frigid
her.
air.
I looked
Yeah,
through the
keep the ice
front
in the fridge
windows
still.
as a taxi pulled to the curb, and to my shock, Samir Ahmed emerged from the car with his wife. Yes, the elusive Mrs. Ahmed followed close behind
Is it
him.
even right where?
I'll admit, I was ecstatic to see her, if a little worried about my sanity. I had worked myself into a frenzy, thinking something had happened to her, and after seeing those terrible things, there was a mixture of satisfaction and confusion to see her walking toward me now. The revolving glass door caught the red glow of the taxi's taillights as they entered the building with Samir in the lead. It was close to his usual bedtime, and I figured they were returning from a late dinner at a crowded restaurant. I had to suppress a smile as I envisioned the impatient
crowded?
millionaire forced to wait for his meal, though my smile faded as I wondered how Mrs. Ahmed managed to eat through that veil. He approached the desk and proceeded to inform me that this would be his final night at the Ladford. His new home was ready. He'd be leaving in the morning and needed a luggage rack promptly at 7. The moment he looked away, I stole a glimpse at his wife. Just one last look to commit to those gorgeous amber eyes to memory. I feared I had suffered a mental collapse, and I was hoping to replace the image of the floating niqab and its empty veil with something more palatable. But what I saw made things worse. It sent a jolt of shock to my heart. Her black veil was in place, with the same rectangular slits for the eyes. The woman's eyes
How'd she eat?
changed. They were different. No longer the glistening pools of honey I admired 2 nights prior. Her dark brown eyes showed no signs of recognition as she observed me with indifference. The old Mrs. Ahmed had always averted her gaze. She never looked directly at me, not until the night by the ice machine. Yet those chocolate brown eyes studied me, so alert. The wrong shape, the wrong color, the wrong personality. Imposter, I thought, but didn't say. He's replaced his
Yo,
wife
ghost
just like
stories.
that. Replaced her. A chill crept down my spine. I willed it away, not allowing my body to betray my suspicions. I finished my business with Mr. Ahmed, and I avoided any further eye contact with the mysterious woman at his side. The loneliest part of the night shift comes around 3 in the morning. The drinkers and party animals have all gone to bed. The early risers have not yet risen. The ticking of the clock resonates in some deep part of the
Don't
soul
touch that
which
cord, dude.
wants, no,
Back up.
needs to be around people. Because anything can happen when you're alone. I was contemplating the woman in the cab and how she was not the same woman Samir Ahmed had arrived with several nights ago when the lights blinked off one by one. All around the lobby, bulbs flickered and went out. The hallway to the guest rooms was left in utter blackness. I remember noticing the other electronics were still working, the computer and the vending machine. I wondered what would cause the lights on several different circuits to fail. I felt a familiar chill in the air, a drop in temperature which caused my jaw to chatter. The lobby
victim.
became downright frigid and my breathing grew heavy, despite my best efforts to keep calm. I scanned my surroundings, the vending area, the sofa and coffee table piled with magazines, the elevator, the hallway, the stairwell. I flicked my eyes from place to place and told myself the coast was clear. Yet my eyes were drawn back to the hall. I gulped, and a wad of saliva stopped halfway down my throat. Nervous bile rose from my stomach. I tried to focus, to make sense of what I
Don't touch
saw.
that cord.
There was something in the hall, someone. But they didn't walk upright, which is why I hadn't noticed them at first. Instead, they crawled through the darkness like a spastic inchworm, clawing at the carpet with
That's what I call
spindly fingers. One good
love
leg
it.
propelled them forward as the other dragged behind, seemingly useless below the knee. Foot twisted sideways like a broken doll. Shadows contrasted the waxen skin and dark hair. The figure kept coming,
Please go back.
scraping along the carpet
getting
like
right to
a
the
wounded
spooky part.
soldier through the dirt, and after a few seconds, I made out the face of a woman beneath her hair, which seemed to fall in every direction at once. Her neck was wrenched at a painful-looking angle, her scalp and face pointing the wrong way. Many of her bones were bent and twisted. Her advance was sketchy. Her joints popped with each movement, and her muscles strained, skin ripe with bruises. She pulled herself into the light of the vending machines, and I saw the blood crusted on her lips and skin, dark splotches down her chest. I had plenty of time to call for help, to run over and assist the injured woman. But I'm no fool. I may be a skeptic in matters of magic, demons, and astrology, but I recognize a ghost when I see one. Her raspy breathing caused me to hold my own breath as she dragged herself into the lobby. She never looked at me, not once, and I must admit I was relieved. The only thing preventing me from running into the night screaming like a little girl was the lack of eye contact she had bestowed on me so far. The thought of this dead thing looking at me with those blackened eyes and acknowledging my existence, that would have been my final straw.
I hate when chicks acknowledge my
But
existence.
it didn't happen. Not even an upward glance.
Yeah, she
She
don't
kept
care.
crawling in that slow, labored manner until she had disappeared behind the sofa, leaving me to wonder what to do. I stood my ground, hoping the lights would flicker to life or the phone would ring, or a guest would come wandering down the hall. Anything to end this moment. Every horror story must end, and I knew this wasn't over yet.
He keeps seeing a ghost.
I couldn't stand in the dark forever, but this was her game, not mine. Why should I have to make the next move? I was scared dangerously close to wetting my pants. Half my attention was focused on my bladder, the other half on the sofa. When no light returned to the room and no guests appeared to run interference, I knew the ball was in my court. I gulped and stepped forward. The snack machine lit my path as I rounded the desk and made my way to the lounge area. I kept going around to the back of the sofa. Sitting in the soft lower of the soda machine was a large trunk I had
I
never
see that
seen.
shit. Oh, what? He
It looked
just
heavy,
disappear?
made from a solid
Get
wood
him!
craftsmanship
Get him!
that
He's right there.
doesn't seem to exist anymore.
Okay.
Dark
we'll
leather
record
lined
that.
the surface with a metal latch in the middle and two belt-like straps on each side. I was certain it hadn't been there before. I spotted keyholes where the latches came together, and I knew I couldn't open it. Fine with me. I didn't want to anyway. I turned and prepared to walk away and told myself three things. A. Someone had misplaced their luggage. B. I needed to see a shrink. And C. I needed to fix the lights before we received a complaint. The trunk began to rattle. Stopped in my tracks and listened.
Oh, you
It was
didn't
such a
even get that
low rumble, I was barely sure I heard it until the trunk started thumping and banging against the floor. I jumped and spun around and watched with uneasy fascination as it tremored, caught in the throes of a supernatural quake. The locks clicked and the leather straps danced as the trunk bucked wildly on the floor. Then it stopped.
Is it a
The metal
dog?
clasps thudded against the lid and slid down the arc, dangling at the trunk's sides. All was quiet for a few panicked heartbeats, and then my ears picked up the sound of raspy, labored breathing coming from inside the trunk. It couldn't be, I told myself. She couldn't be in there. A person couldn't fit inside. Not unless... I froze as the realization struck me. Not unless they were stuffed inside like a rag doll, bones broken and bent at gruesome angles. Trembling, I closed the distance between myself and the trunk without any further hesitation. I knew what I must do, and frankly, I wanted to get it over with. I grimaced as I reached for the lid. I flipped it open. Her body was bent in half, limbs tangled in a gory mess. A splintered collarbone protruded from her purple and green splotched neck. She'd been crumpled up and stuffed into the trunk with no regard for broken bones. As I contemplated the twisted and turns of a woman's desecrated remains,
that
she
him?
sprang to life.
Yo!
She grabbed me and started pulling, and to my horror, I couldn't fend her off. This monstrous woman was incredibly strong. I remember worrying she would pull me down into the trunk, into the deep, dark oblivion of the empty niqab, the endless silence of her tortured unrest. Fingernails dug into my flesh as she tightened
She's
her
ripping
grip.
you.
I recoiled from the stench of old blood on her breath as she sputtered and moaned in what sounded like Arabic. The grotesque angle of her battered face
racist.
atop a twisted neck
That sounds
will
like
never
fucking
leave
Arabic,
my
dude.
mind. She pulled me close, so that I was looking at her eyes. Amber eyes. The eyes of Mrs. Ahmed. The ice machine cranked to life, spewing forth its bounty. Pain shot through my skull as something rock solid hit the back of my head.
This girl's a bigger serial
Stars
killer
and
than Jack the
blackness
Ripper.
filled my vision. I awoke on the floor next to the metal ice bucket. It must have been what hit me, hurled by the force of the
just
broken woman in the box. The shape of the bucket's rim perfectly matched the fresh indent in my cranium. I looked around, but there was no sign of the trunk or its monstrous occupant. I shook the fog from my head, rubbed my eyes, and checked my wristwatch. With over 2 hours left and my last nerve dangling from a thread, I knew I needed to get out of the hotel.
A golden thing.
I couldn't think straight, couldn't relax, and worst of all, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. I texted Eleanor and asked if she could cover the rest of my shift. It's an emergency, I said. I broke the news to her when she arrived. I was quitting. I wouldn't be back. She tried her best to guilt me, of course, but I'd made my mind up, and no amount of shame would change it. I did return the next day, however, one last time. After restless hours in which I was unable to sleep, eat, or concentrate on anything other than thoughts of the
He
ghost,
got attacked by
I
ghosts, and then he's
decided
like,
there
"I'm
was
not going to
something
work
I had to
tomorrow."
know. I
Fuck.
apologized for my
The story's
behavior
so
and
good.
groveled and gained Eleanor's blessing to review the hotel's security footage. She didn't ask me what I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't
Eyes
remember
bright with
asking.
denial, she donned that old, familiar poker face
Didn't even
and
describe the
silently
room's
assured
layout.
herself that I was in need of a shrink or some antipsychotics. I spent 2 hours reviewing the surveillance footage, and here's what I found. On the last night of Mr. Ahmed's stay, he departed the building alone. There was no sign of the woman in the niqab until he returned with her hours later. She disappeared from the camera's footage after our encounter by the ice machine, only to reappear that strange, memorable night when I noticed her eyes had changed. I should also mention that there's no sign of the haunting images I'd seen. The footage does indeed show a malfunctioning ice machine and a baffled clerk, but not the floating figure in the niqab with emptiness where the face should be, or the battered woman crawling down the hall into the trunk. The camera even blinked out right at the moment when the ice bucket hurled itself across the room, finding a target on the back of my skull. Rather frustrating, I'll admit, but I digress, because more disturbing than any of that was the footage of Samir Ahmed checking out the hotel. On the grainy TV screen, I watched as he grunted and steered a luggage cart himself. He shooed a bellboy aside who attempted to offer assistance and barked an order to his assistant, Tahir, who held open a set of double
fucking lifting
doors as
this out.
Samir maneuvered the cart onto the sidewalk. His so-called wife brought up the rear of the group as Tahir held the door open for her too. And that was the last I saw of the leather-bound trunk with its straps fastened tight and middle latch securely locked as it thumped along with the other baggage, hiding in the Pakistani millionaire's dirty laundry. I'm certain the person in the cab on this last piece of footage is not the real Mrs. Ahmed, but I'm alone in this knowledge. To be honest, I don't expect anyone to believe me. Unless you see her, the woman in the
Good. Yeah, he's
cab who
gone.
floats in her robes with no body and no face. A cold and beaten
With
corpse who
dynamite.
crawls
Yeah.
the hallway and plays with electricity and throws metal buckets. But I wonder, is it just me? Am I the only one she haunts because I'm the only one who noticed her existence and therefore her disappearance? Is she the ghost of a ghost? The memory of someone
Don't
who
end it
was,
on just a
but
what
really
if.
was not?
Oh, you
You'll
get
have
it
to
that
answer
way?
that question.
Fuck
Can
you.
you do that?
This gave me deja vu.
Can you write back to me, please? I need to know one way or the other. Whether I'm crazy or sane, I
you're
need to
done.
know if I bear this cross alone. So please, if you hear the clatter of ice cubes
Oh, is
echoing
it?
through
It's
the empty
crashing?
lobby, if you catch a glimpse, thanks for joining me around.
You're a fucking piece of shit. Did that kill the stream again? Okay, my paranormal. I need some good stories to come off this low. He saw a ghost, he's like, whoa, what is that? The end. Please respond. Oh, how old's this girl?
Hey guys, it's Bianca, and today I'm gonna be doing my ghost experience video.
It's a makeup girl.
Experiences video, whatever. Okay. So this happened about when I was.
There's a woman who got ice. Her husband was a conservative, clear to
oh,
me.
cool! Like let's
There's a
go
woman who
walk
didn't have it.
around the graveyard and stuff. And then she was like,
God, why didn't we
okay, and it
listen to
was,
this
like,
right
rainy
away?
that
It's
day,
so
and her
good.
parents weren't home.
Like, there was a...
Did you hear them?
What did they call it?
Why?
What?
What are you doing?
She got scared right away? What
And
the
then she's like, we were like, okay, and it was like rainy that day, and her parents weren't home. Do you guys hear them?
They saw a ghost already.
And we walked to the graveyard. What are you doing? Okay, anyway, so we were like, oh,
That's
walking,
like an
we
inside
walked
joke they
graveyard,
have?
we got
What
there,
are
we
you
like, oh,
doing?
let's move stuff around, being the stupid teenagers that we were at the time. So there was this one cross on this graveyard.
This
it
isn't even
wasn't like
coherent.
that big, and it was metal, and we were like, oh, let's move it like across the graveyard. And she was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So we did that, and we were like,
Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God. No. So we like just walked around and we came back and we checked the tombstone that we put it on and it wasn't there. We were like, what? Like, and then
We were like,
went back
what
over
the
to
fuck,
original
dude?
tombstone, and it was there. We were like, oh my God, like, whoa, that's so cool. So then we did it again.
Children.
And then there was also this like Virgin Mary or whatever they're called. And it was like that big part here, a little road thing here, and then like another part there.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Did you see that?
She's getting so scared. Do you see that?
Okay, anyway. So there
It's
was
so
like another.
fucking creepy.
So there's like a part there, like a road thing, and then another part there. And the tombstone where we were was like the road right here. It was right there. And then up here there was like some type of square thing. I don't really know what that's for. And so we had moved. Anyway, so we had moved.
Jesus Christ.
the,
Holy
like,
fuck,
the
dude.
cross, like down at the bottom, and so we had walked back to
Just like the bottom, like
the
down, like.
the cross. The cross wasn't there. So we were like, oh, let's just go back to the tombstone. But when we were walking to the tombstone, no joke, the Virgin Mary was like, it was like 5 meters away from the tombstone that we had.
Surprised she even knows what
touched
meters
the
are.
Virgin Mary at all. So she had like moved on her own. And then we went back and like we're like, where's the cross? Because the cross wasn't at the original tombstone. We had walked around it and it was on the back of it.
We went on it.
Okay,
It was
so
at the back of
we're
it,
like,
and we.
What? Like, do we continue playing with this or not? We're like, well, we're
Okay, go
gonna
in
just be
there.
stupid and continue.
Oh yeah.
So we
down
continued.
more.
This time we had took just the cross again. We had moved it to the
What's
the
it called?
other side of the
The-
thing, and it was
the-
this really old tombstone. It was actually like just like it was like that
Christ,
big. It was on
dude.
the ground. It had fell over.
This is one of the best
never
ones I've
got
ever
it
heard.
there. We walked away and we like
It's
waited
2
5
girls
minutes.
in a college
We
dorm
walked
or
back,
something.
It was still there. We were like, whatever. This is useless now. Like we got bored of it quick. We walked away and then something told us to turn around and check. Like it felt like we got that feeling. Like, you know that feeling when you're like, oh, I have to look at my phone. Like, oh, I have to look at the corner of that wall. So we got like that.
The fuck is that?
Did I do the
Turned
pirate?
No,
and the
you
cross
did. You
wasn't
did a lot of
there.
money
Like it
though.
literally disappeared like a second after we.
Who
left.
is
We were
this?
literally
Why'd
like,
you do that? The
"Oh,
pirate is.
Okay, we're gonna go. It's not there.
Did I do
We
the
started walking
pirate?
away, we turned back around, and it was gone. Like we were the only.
It's
people
still in that
the graveyard.
range.
The graveyard was super small, and
The
it was
$5
gone.
range.
And we were like, "Did you do that?"
Yo, we got a
And
yo
we looked at each
going.
other, and we're like, "No, we didn't do it." So we're like, "Okay, we're gonna
yeah,
get
it's still-
out of here. Like, we have to go." So we were like running. No, we
Oh,
weren't
it's still in the
running, walking
$4 range.
quickly back to her house.
Pirate's less than 10. Yeah, that's fucked up.
And on
Did I do the pirate?
sidewalk
Thanks for all the money.
of her house.
You get his,
no
I,
joke.
I think I pretty much made
We
back the
looked
Assassin's Creed money.
down.
This wasn't a loss.
Oh my god, this is like making my eyes watery.
All that
We
fucking
looked
yo
down.
money.
And the cross was on the sidewalk, like way ahead of us. We were like,
Oh yeah, get that woman.
God, like what?
Like
So
what?
we- yeah.
Yo, dog, I was
I'm not
like
touching
what,
that
dude?
thing. Cause I had touched it the other time. I was
Fucking
like,
Seven
no
is
way,
back.
I'm touching that. She picked it up. We walked up her driveway in her house, and she was like holding it in her hand like this. Like there was no way possible for it to like fall out of her hand.
Oh,
And
is this in Canada?
She walked in. I think I walked in first. And then I was like, okay, let's see the cross now. She was like,
All right, let's see it.
she's like, okay. She went, she like pulled her hand like that.
Oh shit.
And when she opened her hand, she was like,
Do you claim
'cause
blind
it was
games?
gone.
Yeah, I do.
the
I get to
cross
claim these.
was gone. And I was like, no, like you're
They went
messing
to a
with
graveyard
me. I
and
know
this
it's
cross kept
Stacy.
disappearing
Now
and the
you're
Virgin
actually
Mary
just
kept
messing
running
with me."
around.
She's like, no, I actually swear I'm not. And I was like, prove it to me. So like
Kill
she
me,
proved
end
to
it
me.
now.
She wasn't hiding anywhere. We looked everywhere.
No,
on
you're gonna
the
stay and
floor
listen to
where
it.
we were, and it wasn't there. So
A
she
thing
was
kept
like,
fucking
okay, like,
moving.
we'll even like go look outside for it. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, dude.
I went out first. She found me. No joke. I was,
No
like,
joke.
walked down, like, midway
No word of a lie.
in her driveway.
I shit you not.
I looked at the gravel.
If
and
I was playing
like,
bingo, I probably would have won already.
the cross was outside in the gravel.
Pay you
Like, in
actual
the
money
rocks,
to
in the
stop
driveway.
this.
And I was like,
Stop the
"Oh
game? Stop the stream?
my
Stop the stories?
God. She is serious. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to bring it in
Would
the
you?
website
How
and
much
see if it disappears out of my
money
hand.
would you pay
So
to
when I brought it in,
move a
obviously it
Virgin
didn't
Mary,
disappear.
or just like put it at the back of the
So,
thing?
so
These
they,
people
like,
can get
Jack
into
and I
college.
were,
Isn't
like,
that fucked up?
completely terrified. We had put it
Don't feel
down
too bad if you
on
didn't
her
go to
dresser,
college,
and we
because
were
you
like,
probably
"We're not
dodged an
touching this,
enormous
but
bullet.
we have
A
to
fucking
go
atom
return
bomb.
this
Is
tomorrow."
it this one?
And then she was
It's
like,
it's more
yeah, we
than
definitely did, 'cause I was staying over for a
470
sleepover.
and it's less than 5.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
so-
Imagine how fucking scared I was.
We went upstairs, like, we ate to eat. We came back
We ate
downstairs,
to eat!
and her brothers, like, she has, like,
We went upstairs to eat
2 brothers
and
one
ate
sister,
to eat.
and they're all, like, they all have to, like, go up into the kitchen and eat at the same time. And, like, no one's allowed to, like, leave and go to their rooms until everybody's
Here are 2
done.
monies for your rent and
So,
food.
we
I
have-
like you, bro, and I
had
don't
gone
want
up
you
to
to die.
Thank
We
you.
had came back down, and the cross was
I
not
do pretty
where we
okay. You don't
left
have
it.
to worry about it.
And we were
I
like,
rip off fancies.
what? Like, so we searched her entire room, and we have found it in, like, this mini guitar
Why
that
did they
was hiding
disappear?
behind her door.
There's a
And
mini.
it was, like, inside the guitar. So, like, to get it,
Here
out,
is
we
2
would
more
have to,
dollars,
like,
please
remember this
fucking
part.
God. Just
get it
put on
out,
the
we
old
would have
Mormon
had to,
man
like,
again, I
break the
can't.
cords on
The
it,
old-
Deal with the
like, stick our
fact
hand
that
in the
these are the
hole,
real
like, hurt
human
our hand,
beings
'cause it was, like, a
graduating
little-
high
like a little
schools.
tiny guitar thing.
I enjoy these.
So,
I-
we're like,
I like
that's
knowing-
just creepy. Like, we're not.
Entropy
we're not
has taken the
do
world. There's
anything right
fucking
now.
nothing.
Like, for
We
sure.
have like 3
So,
generations
Like
left
that,
maximum,
like, a
and
couple hours
Earth
went
is
by,
done.
Like, we had kind of
Dinosaurs would
tried to
take
keep
the
our
Earth.
minds off of it. And I think we ended up like I didn't know what Slender Man was at the time. And she
Vape
ended up
to
talking
escape.
about that and stuff like that. I was like,
Ape to escape.
So then it was
Vape to
time
escape?
go to bed finally.
Ape to
And
escape?
I was like about to lay down.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was his leg over his head.
This part is so creepy.
She's
Like,
getting
was on
scared.
bed. We had
The Virgin
sleep-
Mary
we
put the
had
cross
been
in the mini
together the entire
guitar.
night 'cause we
Yeah.
were terrified.
Fuck.
I was about to like lay down, like this is my pillow, and I was going like that, and then she points. She's like,
I will drown out
And
the
then I
story
started
with 7s
freaking out. I'm like, what, is it like a spider?
777
'Cause I was like,
quadrillion
I had to sleep on
No,
my
700.
don't. I
I
want to
was
know
like,
if they got the
77
guitar.
trillion
I jumped out.
777 billion
She was
777
like,
thousand
look, and I was
777.
and I looked at my
Good.
pillow. No joke.
No
The
joke. It
cross
was.
was in the center of it, and I was like, I actually
Did Mary
just
do
got
that?
the chills, and I was like,
Oh, I got scared.
I am
She has a
not
friend in the
sleeping.
background
I
who's
am
also
not
getting
touching
scared.
that. You pick that up. You put that somewhere else, because I am not touching it. So we picked it up. We put it on her dresser, and like all her siblings are little, and the dresser was like, pretty much like up to.
Oh,
up
fast
here.
travel.
It was like a really tall dresser thing, and her siblings are all like super young, so they wouldn't have been able to move it.
Yeah, how do you get that?
And
Oh, that's the fast travel?
next morning. No,
Ah.
I think we woke up in the middle of the night. We were like, what's happening? 'Cause
What the
it felt
hey?
Like someone was like waking us up, and we were like, I don't know. We'll just ignore it. So we ignored it. We went back
Yo,
to bed.
fuck that.
In the morning we woke up, and
Oh, damn.
the cross was nowhere to be found. And no joke, to this day.
No, this girl's like 19 or 20.
we still
or
haven't
21.
found the cross. that? No, I think that was a hair. Or something. Okay, anyway. So,
Wooden splints.
that's... I have, like, other
slow-mo
ghost
zone?
experiences, but that's, like, the major one.
I
that
do have a
had.
lot more stories like this, a lot
So,
better
I'll
ones, so
see
let me
guys
know if you
in my
like it.
next video. Comment, subscribe, like, and follow me on Instagram. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.
Holy fuck, dude. Yeah, that is an adult. My paranormal. Here is my paranormal drama and of course awkwardness.
Hey, my zombie, so, okay.
We can't really. Creepy voices?
Hey everyone, I know it's been a long time since I posted a video last, and that's really because besides the fact that I have been working non-stop the past couple of days, I've had other priorities. I've been kind of sicky feeling because of the pregnancy has decided to throw like a lot
She's
of
13. More
crap
hanging
at me
barrels
that I'm
will
not
appear.
used to.
Okay.
It takes a while to get used to new sensations when you're pregnant. And my computer has been going on the fritz,
Just
the
do
one
it.
that I used to make videos, edit
Go to
videos.
bed. I can't. I'm
and all the
addicted
like.
to this game now.
Seems to be having
You
a
can't-
virus.
okay, I
despite
keep
the fact
recording
that
things
only
and moving
thing
the
that
camera
I
around,
use
and I
that
can't look at this
computer
game
for
without
is
seeing
YouTube
a
videos.
glitch.
Therefore, I only go on YouTube. You
Let's
would
call
think I
them
would have a virus
errors.
on my laptop, which I do everything
womb is
else
haunted.
with, but I don't have
Yeah,
a
let's
virus on
switch.
that. I just have apparently a virus on the other computer. Who knows? Anyways, it is so bad that I have a video that I've been meaning to post, and I
She's not
literally
13.
can't.
Ew.
And then I went ahead
this a
and tried to
funeral?
make another video so that it was more updated because I actually made the video the day the event happened. So now it's really outdated.
Either end the story or end the
and
stream.
it lagged up, and it's
777
really
No.
awful,
quadrillion
so apparently
7.
I just have to
177
knockout
trillion
game with
777 billion 770.
But that guy murdered this guy.
7,777.
Really terrible quality. It's actually worse.
Unregistered
than my,
hypercam.
phone.
Unregistered
So
hypercam.
that's
Two.
what it is. So I just wanted to
Oh yeah, we
share
want
with you
that one.
guys what happened to me on my
What
last
is
day
up,
off,
YouTube?
which was on the 13th, the day I had posted my other late video. Sorry again. And
some vocal fry
what
in
had
this.
happened was that after I had posted the video, I was gonna go do my workout, and so I went to use the bathroom, and I used the bathroom, the guest bathroom that's in the, I like to call the creepy hallway at this point.
These stories are getting
And
kind of
that's
annoying.
the one
That's
where
fucked
it has
up.
the guest bedroom, the nursery, the study, and then
How are these not
the bathroom.
hilarious
So I
to
went
you?
ahead and used
That this is
that
a real
bathroom
person somewhere.
to do my business. And
I think
as I was about
she had to
leave,
explain.
I heard
I went to the
me what
bathroom, I did
sounded
have to
like
drop a shit.
really creepy woman giggling. Insert creepy giggle voice here. And
Sound effects.
it was so startling. It actually kind of like
I do work
set
out.
me aback. I wasn't expecting it, very obviously, because I am the only woman in this house, and I know I didn't just giggle. And I was actually about to open up the door when it happened, so I paused and I was like,
How have you
what was
never
that?
listened to yourself
And I was
telling a
thinking,
story and
oh,
look at the
maybe
feedback
it was
from the
David
person you're
moving
speaking?
something somewhere in the living room, kitchen, whatever, and
Pussy crushes
the
unite.
noise
I think people are
that
just
he created
so.
made it sound like it was a woman giggling. So I was like, that's probably it then.
Damn.
So I open up the door and I look into the living room, and David is
Bugger
just
me up.
standing in the living room. He has his jacket on, he has his shoes on. He was about to go outside, but it's really cold, so he was
hallucin.
bracing himself to go outside because that was when we had a cold front.
Good night.
And for us Floridians,
night.
if it's less than 70 degrees outside, we get
Why?
really, really cold.
I
So
gotta get 'em.
he was really hesitant with going outside, and so I was like, David, were you just doing something to make a noise or something? And he goes,
Oh, you did have to.
no,
run
I have
her.
no idea what you're talking about.
Shit.
I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, oh, did you hear something? And I'm like, well, yeah, I did hear something, but
Why?
it's,
What's your
it's nothing,
cry?
I guess. So he kind of made fun of me a little bit, and I just ignored him,
I was
and then I
mocked
just
by my
started to get ready
husband for a
to
bit.
start my workout. He went outside and did some yard work or whatever it is that he does now. And nothing
What
else
is it? What is
happened
it?
after
Is it
that.
space?
And then later that day, I went over to my parents' house, and every
Jesus
time me and my
fucking
mother
shit.
get together, like her house is also
She's really
haunted,
psychic, and
or
we kind of
where
just
she's
combine
haunted or something.
our energy.
And she actually kind of thinks that it's not necessarily the house
It's
or my
her.
house or anything, but us in general, because maybe we're like sensitive or something. And we attract spirits
Why is it without
to us? And that kind of makes a lot of
fucking
sense
thing
at
every
this point
time?
because I've experienced a
I
lot
love
of
you,
different
dude. I love you,
types
dude.
of spirits here. And I
Why
know
is
they
it
all
always
don't
this? We are
live
psychic. It's
here.
really strong in my
I
family.
think they just come and go. Because when I first moved here, I know there was a man that was here, and then I heard a little
Oh,
girl,
shit,
and
cut me
then I
open.
heard the woman. So it's a bunch of different things. I think they just come and go. So I can believe her when she says that we just attract spirits and then they leave
Fucking
or
bingo.
whatever. So I told her what had happened to me earlier that day, and she gets kind of freaked out and excited all at the same time. And then when I was telling her David was actually there listening to us, he doesn't believe in any of this ghost stuff, but he listens anyways. And then when I said that I had
Anyways.
heard a woman giggling, he looked over at me and he goes, "Well, to be honest with you, when I first came home this
I went
morning,
upstairs to
I had heard a
eat-
woman
to
giggling,
eat.
and I kind of just figured it was you, or you were watching something and it was a woman giggling." And I look over at him and I go,
It's 'cause
"Are you
schizophrenia."
serious? That is really creepy." Because I know I was in the study when that happened, so it wasn't me that was personally giggling. Cause I
Personally,
mean,
me myself
I don't
personally,
remember
I
what
was
it was
not
that I was
giggling.
watching.
I was just
but
thinking
I
in my
know it
head,
wasn't really
to myself in my
anything
mind, the
funny
back of my
because
head.
I don't normally watch that sort of stuff unless I'm like in a sour mood or something and I need to pick me up. So I wasn't really laughing at anything, and I don't think anything that I was watching, if I was watching anything at that time, had laughing, because
Head laughing?
like the second that
Had
I
laughing?
had heard David walk
I had
through the
laughing.
door, I had gotten up to see what was going on because he was going to work, and then apparently something had happened, like the type of work that he does if he doesn't have the equipment or if the weather isn't right or
What are
something
you
like that.
fucking
he can't
even
work, so,
saying?
something happened. So I went to go and see what was going on. So I think I had paused the video at that point anyways, and there wasn't even any noise to be made. But he had heard a woman giggling, and that's weird because later I had also heard a woman giggle.
It's 4 a.m.
Other than that, nothing has happened.
But I'm having such a nice time. With...
Oh wait, yes, actually there was.
Oh, actually, yeah, there was a
Okay,
ghost
so
running
the
around.
other day I had just finished a workout, and I've
I was
been
supposed to get
sitting
that guy?
in the dining room for the past week because I haven't even bothered going to the study because I've been working on my arts and crafts instead of other things because
Sick.
my computer is being so annoying. So
You should have played bingo
I
with this shit.
sat
I
down
already
in the
won
dining
twice.
room, and I started working on my arts and crafts again. And while I was doing that, I heard a really deep, resonating noise.
That guy
in
just
my
dropped
ear.
dead.
And the only other time I've
There's
ever
so much
had an
shit to record in
experience
this
like
game.
that was when
I might just stay
something was
awake and make a
speaking to
goddamn
me
video.
at my mom's house, and it like nearly, to me, it hurt my ear. It almost busted my
We're not here
eardrum.
for Assassin's
But
Creed.
it
We're here
wasn't
for
as
ghost
bad this
stories.
time.
Yeah,
But
this
it
is
was the
just
same
a thing to do. So it
type of
qualifies
noise,
as
like
games.
something was trying to talk to me, and I felt this pressure all on this side of my head, and there
Did you
was
have a
this
retainer?
noise
Okay, so his.
talking to me in my ear.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
I couldn't make out anything, and so I just kind of stopped what I was doing, and I was
I
like,
went on
really
a
kind
haunted
of
tunnel tour, and
make
the
out
guide
something.
asked if
And
anyone
it
in
went
the
on for
group
about
were
20
ghosts.
seconds, and then it went
Sensitive
away.
and fucking.
And
Half
it
the
was like the
people
pressure
in
went
the
away, and
room
everything
raised
never
their
happened.
hands. You
I was like,
can't
okay.
see ghosts.
And I just
You
kept doing
should
what I was
fuck.
doing.
You're just
And then
dumb. Ghosts don't
yesterday, the
exist.
exact
Please
same thing
make it
happened,
end,
but
bro.
this wasn't even after I had worked
They all
out.
raised
so I
their
can
hands.
go, oh, maybe I overworked myself. No, I got home from work, and I decided to just go ahead and sit down and start working on my projects, and it had happened again.
Do what you want.
And this time it only lasted about
Do what
20
you want.
seconds, and it wasn't as strong
Yeah, I'm having
as
an
the
awesome
first time,
time,
so
so,
I
like,
don't really
don't think
know
I'll be
what it
softened
was,
for
but
a
it was kind of
couple
interesting
9
because, like
hours.
I said, the only other time I experienced something like that was when something was trying to talk to me, and I knew something was trying to talk to me. This time, I don't know, it could have been.
Why didn't you tell us about that
But
time?
Anyway, so that's all that's happened so far in the month of November of paranormal
Can you tell us about the
activity.
time something tried to
So,
talk to
Okay,
I
you?
wanted to
last
share
try.
that real
Have a
quick,
good
and
hell
hopefully
tonight.
I can post this
Have a
up,
good
and I'm really
hell.
sorry that
Oh, that's not it?
I'm trying to make better quality videos, but that's not gonna work out if my computer decides to die
That's
on
not
me
gonna
and I
happen.
can't fix it because I've had experience. I know how to fix
I don't think
viruses
you do.
on computers. Besides,
I know how to fix
antivirus
viruses.
software, I know how to do it. And this one is like
There's a horse sticking its
No.
head in there.
it doesn't want to be fixed. So I just have to take the time, I guess, and really look.
Horses
forward
can
and
go in
really
reverse.
Get it working. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. I don't know when that's going to be because Thanksgiving is a busy week for us. I probably won't even do my arts and crafts next week.
Sucks.
Anyway, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You're already the virus. Please just ban the stream. Give her. My paranormal experience one day ago.
Hi, I'm Catherine Shore, and thanks.
I don't know. That sounds pretty shit. This girl's got bobies out.
Hi guys, so I just wanted to tell you about my paranormal experience that I had when I was younger. I think I was about 6 or 7 years old when this happened. Damn, this hurts my arm.
She put heartbeats in it.
So yeah, one night I was sleeping.
Did you have to include that in the fucking video?
And saw an old lady next to me, and I was like, "Is this my grandma?" So I was like, "Bella," because that's my grandma's name. And I think she was living at us at the time because we were living in New York in an apartment. And so I was like, "Bella?" And she didn't say anything.
He
And
frequents the Fight Club.
And I turned her over, and I fucking yelled. Like, I guess in my dream. 'Cause
We've
my mom
listened to
was
this one
there at the
already?
time. And she looked like the old lady from Courage the Cowardly Dog, you know that show?
Can you get up that or what?
I got off the bed, and I just froze.
Can't
and
hear
I just
it?
stood
Ah,
there,
okay,
and I
fuck
saw her
this.
come off the bed, and
The
she
shit's
was
way
just
too loud?
climbing out the window like there was a ladder there.
My paranormal. What's something else you'd... My Paranormal Life, Volume 8, Final Chapter.
Kids, it's been a long time since I've been on video. I wanted to explain part of the reason. First of all, Windows 10 screwed up my computer, so
Yeah, let's hear all this
to-
shit we don't care
to
about.
name my videos anymore. So now I'm having to do it on my
Crafton.
phone, which I've had to learn how to do. And frankly, I don't use my phone for much other than talking, and the occasional texting, and the occasional Facebook Messenger. Usually that
My
only
first
when
gay
I'm traveling.
experience.
So this whole phone thing is new.
I'll get kicked off of Twitch.
But I wanted to get this finally finished, and this is My Paranormal Life Volume 8. This will be the last in the series, and I wanted to
He
wrap
lip
up
smacks.
the whole series for you.
Tongue smack.
As I talked about starting at the age of
Yeah,
9
sometimes
and
it's
moving
interesting
forward,
to see
I
non-white
shared not
girls
only things that I've
to see
experienced,
if the same rules apply.
but
and
I
they
shared life experience.
do. Oh, yes, let's get this.
And I wanted to wrap up my series by saying this. I just recently got back from a trip to South America, to Peru specifically. And I had been asked to do several readings and spoke with several spirits, and also
Sick.
went to a place, to an apartment complex that I had never been.
He travels the
and
world being a psychic.
I did a walk. Essentially, I did a walk.
I went up to eat
And it seemed
and
to
ate.
resonate with the people that lived in these different apartments. So, that's basically
So, hey YouTube,
My
just
third
want to...
continent, my fifth language.
Oh yeah, he doesn't...
And
He grapples also.
I've also done walks
Kidnapping.
and readings on several islands, from the Caribbean all the way to the Western Pacific. So yeah.
So yeah, he even does that.
Paranormal
So
is
yeah.
a global experience. The other thing is, it's not just one thing,
Did a
and
ghost
it's not
walk.
just things that you believe in. It's things that the other people believe in. They can manifest all those things. Now,
So
I want
it's
to
their
caution
power.
you when you're going out looking for somebody to give you a reading or come ghost hunt your house or anything like that. Be very careful who you choose. Ask a lot of questions. And
They
if
might
they
bring a
seem
ghost
to be
with them.
stuck in one place, in other words, if they only want to talk about demons, or they only want to talk about vortexes, or they only want to talk about this, or they only want to talk about
I
that,
can't.
chances are you're not getting a very
I
good,
can't. I
well-rounded, full
cause desynchronization sucks.
reading or hunt or whatever it is that you're looking for. The other thing is,
Chunter?
if you are somebody with abilities, don't allow yourself to get stuck and realize that you don't always have the answers. And that goes for people also looking. Sometimes we don't always have the answers right away. They'll eventually come to us, but sometimes we just
I fell
get
asleep
stuck.
the other night
For
watching
example,
Teeth and your stream was
I had a
on my
phone call the
laptop
other
in
day
the
where I heard
background
something
when
that
you
sounded
were
just
giving
like
us one of your
Hollywood on the
usual
phone.
updates on
It
your
literally was an
asshole.
interference
That night
between
I
me
had
and
a
another
dream that
person,
you were a
and
wanted
it
man for
sounded
biting the
what
fingers off
Hollywood
doctors.
would describe as demonic. But
That
I did
was
not
no
catch it
dream.
as demonic because I don't do demonic.
Yeah, demons. Ew. Fuck.
And
I
it
just
took
did
I couldn't
ghosts.
figure out
Stupid.
what it
I'm not
was,
stupid.
and it took me a while. It actually took
Tackle
me
him.
several hours to process what was
Because you
going
had
on.
teeth in your asshole.
And
I wish I could
it's
make
okay
this
if you
shit
don't
up.
have the answer
I
right
Because
woke
away.
up horrified.
So for those of you that do have
Because
abilities,
you had teeth in your
trust
asshole.
yourself. And don't push yourself. Let it come. Because the harder
Chase
you
'em.
work, the less successful you're going to be. This
You gotta-
needs to flow naturally. It doesn't need to be
Can
forced.
you fucking tell the
It
story?
can't be forced. There's no way.
That's just not me,
Lastly,
man.
And most importantly, for those people particularly going through some kind of either
Have a good
early
sleep,
life
you gorgeous
or late
baby.
life,
Thank you.
late life crisis,
You heading to bed?
or a retirement boredom, save your money.
Become
If you
anonymous.
don't have abilities, don't go out and read books.
You
and
just
go
don't
to
got
all
them. You're
these
not born
different
with it.
places and spend a fortune
Where is he?
talking to swamis and all this kind of stuff. Because
Where'd
chances
he go?
are, at least in my experience working at psychic fairs and
It's this
etc.,
guy?
is that people will go out and pour thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, and hundreds of or thousands of hours into studying something, never quite get there,
He's
drop
dead.
it, and start the next thing.
So you
Now,
just failed.
That might be
You fucked
life
it.
enriching to some extent, but to some extent it's a big waste.
Okay, you suck.
So if you're not serious about something, don't start it. Just don't. My
You
phone's
suck.
not-
I want to hear awesome stories. Idiot. Idiot. My recent paranormal experience. Cool intro.
Foster's the Cinder track again. This is about the Cinder. Right, as you can see from the beginning, this is about the Cinder track. And if you're a regular, you're probably thinking, oh god no, it's going on about the bloody Cinder track
Yeah,
again.
I already.
Did I mention it was haunted?
Girls only, yeah.
First things first, nice cold one.
Someone had a good one. What's a good one?
Hi guys.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
this
know-
girl. My paranormal scary story. You shouldn't have started that bit if you weren't serious about it. A ghost stopped it. A cinder truck. My spooky. I don't think there's a lot of things like that. My spooky friend. Oh yeah, can you just search for the terms my spooky vlog, my spooky scares. Yes, I know I'm a bit late.
Hey guys. So welcome back to my channel.
The clapping. I think this is a child. Fashion, beauty. My first long video. 10 subscribers. My spooky Halloween. Real life ghost story. Real life ghost story. Three real life ghost stories.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to come to
This is an
and
older
tell
lady.
you this weird thing that recently happened to me. Well, it happened to me when I was little, but I just kind of confirmed it with someone else that it happened to in the same house. It's just weird. It just freaks me out. When I was little, we had just my dad and his brother, who was a construction contractor. He built homes. We bought a 2-acre lot of land in this rural area in Massachusetts. My dad built a house. It was like a Cape Cod style house. The bedrooms were all upstairs. And
Why is he just
at
rewinding?
the time, there was just myself and my older brother, who's 2.5 years older than me. At night, I was afraid to stay alone in my room because after we moved in, I started seeing this black figure, like picture.
That was okay?
The room dark. The only lights coming in are like the moonlights or any nighttime
It's fucked
light
up.
from outside. And picture like the room is really dark. All the lights are out. And picture something darker than the blackness walking through the door towards you. You see it. You see the figure. And it's blacker than the darkness in the room. And I would see it, and I thought it was my brother. You know, my older brother, like with a blanket over his head or something.
What the
like,
fuck is going
coming in
on?
and scaring me. Because he used to always do things to scare my girlfriends and I, like when we were out in the yard or something. So I screamed, and my parents came in the room, and they checked my brother's room, and he was in bed, asleep. This happened like all through my childhood. Then my younger brother was born, and time went on, and I kept seeing this. And like years later, when I got married and left the house,
She saw a black man?
my younger brother, who I just talked about this like 2 weeks ago when he was here, and I never had any clue that he used to see it too. After my older brother moved
As
out of
Gregor
the house, I
Samsa
was
awoke
him,
one morning
and
from
I was
uneasy
telling him
dreams,
about
he
it,
found
and I
himself
said, "I remember
transformed in
that
his
house."
bed
He says, "I
into
don't
a
know why, but the
gigantic
house always
insect.
gave me the creeps." I said,
Fuck.
because I used to, when I was little, like before you were even born,
Examine.
I would see this black
Gregor
figure come into my
Samsa.
room at night.
I think that's the way
whenever
this
I
story
would,
is
like,
gonna go.
Look at it and scream and start calling mom and
She's
dad.
gonna wake up and she was a
It
black
would
man.
go into my closet, into the right hand side of my closet. It went deep in, like in the wall. Always the right hand side. And I would always have my parents check the closet.
My
plus
mission
they saw
fucked up.
nothing. So my brother was here a couple of weeks ago, and he is now 52. And I was telling him about it, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh my God!" He says, "Colleen, this is really weird."
He says-
"There
I
was
says to
always this
him-
black figure. I always thought it was Gary with like this black cloak over him or something."
Oh, stood he was gay.
And I says, it looked like somebody like a
I says,
cane
"Yeah,
or
good."
something over his head, its head, whatever it was. And I says, and it was just
Right.
black.
And I
You couldn't
says-
see a face, but it was in a figure of a person.
I want to stop
I
this
says, and
mission.
it would come right over to me, and by the time it got that close, I'd scream. And I says, and mom and dad would
I
come
says-
running in. And he says, the same thing used to happen to me after you left. I says, what did you do? And he says, I'd
I says-
scream. And, you know, my parents had split up since then. And it was just my younger brother and my dad living there. And he says, I'd scream. He says, and, you know, dad would come in the room and say, you know, oh, you're just having a bad dream and blah, blah, blah. And he says, I got so that I would just pull the covers up over my head.
Okay,
and it would
I'll
just stay
change.
there so I wouldn't
Oh,
see
no.
it. I says, I used to do the
I won't.
same thing. And I said, did you ever find out what it was? He said, no. And then he grew up and went off into the Navy and everything. And I never heard anything about it until just a couple of weeks ago. So my question to you guys is, and Susie Clancy, you may know, what was that?
What
it
the
was
fuck?
a
Susie
black
Clancy, get
thing,
back to me on this.
blacker than the darkness of the room, so you could see the outline of it. And it
Good.
would never touch me. It would just always come
They
over
stole my
near
man.
me and then go into the closet, unless I slept with the covers over my head all night. I stopped screaming when I saw it, because my parents would get mad because they'd say, oh, you're just having a bad dream. And my brother, the same thing. I don't know if the house was like on an old Indian burial ground. I don't know. But it was just really, really weird. Like, what does black
You said at the
matter
beginning it was the
in a room
490s? Oh, I don't know
like this
about that.
black? To this
Maybe at the
day,
start,
I
but
don't know what it is. I don't have any clue. I'm not the type of person that believes in this stuff or anything like that. I don't dabble in. I mean, I like scary movies and stuff like that.
So she just saw a black thing in her room, and it was blacker than the stuff around it? Blacker than the darkness of the room?
Weird thing that happened with my grandmother, and she came to me in a dream before I had kids. My husband and I, my ex-husband and I at the time, I was in my 20s, and I was trying to get pregnant, and I wanted a baby so bad. You know, we wanted to start a family, and my grandmother came
in your
to me in a
20s.
dream, and she said, "Don't worry, Colleen. It's going to happen."
That's
the
a true
following
terror
month,
for
I
her.
missed my period. I went to the doctor, and I was pregnant. And
And we
after
didn't
I
even
woke
have
up
sex,
from
though.
that dream, I was laying in bed, and I was facing toward my husband, and I felt a tap. I was awake at the time, and I felt a tap on my back.
That was
It
it.
was right after I had the dream about my grandmother. So it was
You're
almost
pregnant.
like she
Tap.
was letting me know that, yeah, it was a dream,
Here.
but I'm right here, you know. So that's the
Mark it.
only thing that has ever happened to me as far as like believing in someone coming to me from the dead or wherever. But this other thing that was in my room when I was a little girl, I don't know what it is. And if anybody could give me any idea or tell me,
Idea.
my brother and I, that's what blew my mind.
I wonder if
because
she used
he
to
had
have an
already
accent
forgotten
and then
all
it went
about
away.
And we were talking about when he was up here visiting and that house that we grew up in.
From
It just gave me
Staten
the
Island.
creeps when
Look
he
at that.
started telling me that same story and described perfectly what it looked like and the feeling it gave him. It was always in that one room, never anywhere else. It's just weird. Oh, and I have one more story for you. And
Yo!
I used to have this neighbor.
That's
when
the
I was
only
a
thing
kid,
that ever happened to
and
me.
He was
Oh,
a
also
retired
this one's
FBI,
story.
and he was single. He had never been married, and he was in his 70s. And we knew him for a few years. He was like part of the family. He had always come up around supper time, and you know, would invite him to dinner. And he got a kick out of the kids. He loved my kids, and he was just like part of the family. And he lived 2 doors down from me. And he came over one day and he said, you know, Colleen, he says, I've been diagnosed with lung cancer. And this guy never smoked, which is weird. But anyways, he only...
They're
he
keeping
didn't live long
secrets.
after
The
that.
FBI has a gun that shoots
Within a
cancer
month,
into
he
you.
was gone. But
Or no,
during
heart
that
attacks.
time, I used
Still,
to go
that's
down
the
and
same.
check on him. And I'd, you know, bring him meals and stuff like that. And because I knew he wouldn't cook for himself. And his sister was taking care of his other brother who had Lou Gehrig's disease. So there was nobody really
Peeled
to take
carrot
care
disease.
of Jim.
Ah,
And
fuck, it's all
anyways,
the way up
I would
there.
go down and I'd just sit and talk to him. And then hospice started coming in, and they kind of kept him drugged up. And I would just go there and sit there and hold his hand because he had nobody, and just hold his
Sucks.
hand and say, Jim, you know, we love you, and you know, it's okay to let go. You know, I know you're suffering. I know you're in pain. Let go. I'm right here. I'm holding.
Just
your
die.
hand.
Die. Die.
And
Die.
anyways, he passed away.
Right
He
then?
passed away, like right then when I was holding his hand. I had to go home and get my kids dinner and everything. And I knew that
Jim
hospice
just
was going
died.
to be coming in later on that evening. But he passed away during the night. The next day, his sister had called me to go down and turn the lights on and off like at night to make it look like somebody's home. And I used to bring my
Caught you,
dog with
didn't
me.
I?
I had this little Lhasa Apso at the time. And her name was Ginger, and she used to always go with me when I'd go to visit him, and she'd jump up in his lap, and he'd just get a kick out of it. Well, after he died in the house, Ginger
He
would
didn't
not
get
go
her-
any further
Yeah.
than the hallway down to where his bedroom was.
He
She would
knows, she
stop.
knows.
I couldn't even drag her down there with her collar. She just stopped. And I don't know if his spirit was still in the house, but you know how they say dogs have a sixth sense? And she just stopped in the hallway. Just dead stop. And she ran to the front door and started whining to get out. She never did this before. So that was another weird thing that happened. But anyways, the reason why I'm making this tonight
Hurry
is
and
I just
die.
want to know what that black thing was. If anybody has any
So anyway,
ideas,
back to that black
just
thing. If anyone knows,
put 'em in
okay.
the comments down below.
New
And just
game.
let me know. I don't want to even think it was some kind of
Like, I can
demonic
do that?
thing.
Fucking finally, I'm out of here, you stupid ass. Oh, shit, you're right. True stories. Ghost, real life caught on tape. No, I just want someone telling a story. True prequel. Superstar. WWE? Ghost story. Very cute and funny. From real people. Cosmopolitan. Ghosts are real? Life story. Murder house. Okay. You blew it. What's another word for those? Scary, paranormal. First crush story. Trust in the cringe. My first crush scarred me. First crush. My first crush story. I want ghosts though. I want ghosts though.
Jim, please just let go. Wait, just want to double check. We do get your money in the will, right? If so, then I will allow you to die, Jim. Wait, what's that? It looks like it's blacker than black. Darker than the blackest black of the moon.
Wait, what is that? Jim, it's in here.
Sorry about.
It's someone acting. Haunted house story? I'd try that. Haunted house story. I lived in a haunted house. Story time. I lived in a haunted house.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm 1,000% sure the house I grew up in was completely haunted,
so
and I will tell you why. I want to say
good.
I was about 4 or 5.
You're the dame of my dreams.
When my parents got divorced when I was about, I want to say 3 or 4.
I want to say.
I just remember my dad leaving. I was like, bye, see you on the weekends. It was just me and my mom. I remember always seeing shadows all throughout the house.
My backyard is a
always
ghost.
Thinking, isn't that sock puppet time, Mom? I had this really eerie feeling about the house when I was younger. So when at night I would like go into my mom's bed and I would just like watch the Disney Channel before I go to bed. And then every single time
they got a beep in the background. Why do so many people have those? So many people fucking burn alive because of that.
I always
just replace the battery.
Whisper in my ear, like around 1:25 a.m. every single night, telling me to get up, time to go to bed, time
get
to
up,
dream.
it's time to go to bed.
And I always thought it was my mom. I've always thought it. So I saw my mom a couple weeks ago. And I was like, hey mom, do you remember when you used to do this? And she looked at me. She was like, I never did that. What are you talking about?
I didn't do that.
And I was like, yeah.
Help me fight him, asshole.
Yeah, whatever you say, mom. Every night, and it got more aggressive as I got older. In my own room, like in the middle of the night, I would hear like a little knock on my door, like.
Oh, they fucked my men up. Ah, shoot him.
Freaked me
Oh,
out
I didn't
so
upgrade
much.
my
Like,
thing.
I'd run out of my room and go to my mom and tell her I just had a nightmare. I didn't want to scare her or anything. Or I thought I was dreaming. But now knowing that, I know I wasn't dreaming. But I thought
She
I
thought that
was
was her mother
dreaming,
doing
so I
that?
had these nightmares, so I just run to my mom's room.
Go back.
Sorry, that really just scared me. When my stepfather moved in, so the force got stronger and darker and more evil. I feel like it doesn't like males because after my stepfather, it got crazy.
Got
and after my
jealous.
little brother showed up to the world, got even more crazy. My stepfather showed up. I noticed a lot of tension and
Don't come kill me. Go fuck them.
darkness in the house. Like
There's
my
tension,
mom
there's
has
just like a
always been
dark-
sweet, caring, like someone you can always look up
Very
to. Someone
motherly.
who's always happy. Someone who like works really hard. Like she's amazing. Her personality just changed completely. I remember reading that if there's like a dark force in your house or like a
It will
dark
get
spirit
your
or
mom.
demonic spirit, people's personalities
It'll
change.
fuck with her
'Cause
baking.
now, after my mom moved out the house, she's like back to her old self. But as I grew up, just things got weirder and weirder. Like, excuse me. I was probably about 7 or 8 when my stepbrother came to visit because he lives in Florida.
Ghost is
I've
dranks.
never talked to him about this because I don't think he
Kill the
remembers
targets
it
using
or
courage.
even like knows what I'm talking about. But I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember that we were in my room like just playing or something, and before
There's
like,
two of them.
describe what happens, let me give you a better view of what was going on. Like, my room was like right here. Like there's like a long hallway, like really creepy hallway. By the way, it's really creepy. There's a long hallway. My room was here. The bathroom was like literally right across from my room.
Oh, you almost died.
And then there was my brother's room.
Yeah,
my
can we
little bedroom,
reset this
and then
quest? Because
right here was my parents' room, my stepfather and my mom's room. So it was 1, 2, 3 in the bathroom, the hallway, and the attic was right up there. So I
Where is it?
strictly
Where is it?
remember my mom leaving, go down to the corner store just to get some blot thinners because I didn't want to go with her. Because I
What
think I was
do
like
you fucking
coloring or
just
something,
say?
I don't know. And just like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Blah,
Because
blah, blah.
like she knows like I'll be fine, whatever. And I hear this noise outside my room, and I'm with my. It's just the two of us. I'm just like. I go out to check it out, and the attic is down, the ladder's down. I look up, I see a shadow, and it just moves across, and I freaked out. And in those 3 seconds, I became the Flash. I darted from my room, closed the door behind me, locked it, and like when it gets, I was like, and then I was so freaked out. And I was
you
like, we're gonna
scared?
stay here until my mom gets back. I don't care. I don't care if you're knocking. I don't care. Unless you hear my mother's voice, we are not getting out this room. And then when she got back, like literally 2 minutes later, she came in. She came
one.
upstairs. She was looking for us, and she saw the door closed. And she's like, "Open the door to the nurse." I open it, and I'm like, "Mom,
Get in this drawer.
the attic." The attic came down, and I saw a shadow, and I'm like, I was like freaking out. I was just like I was like just freaking out. And my mom was like, "Damaris, the attic is closed."
Damaris?
And then
Damaris.
I look up, and it's completely closed back to how it was before I even saw anything. And I was like, Mom, no. It was
No, Ma.
open. And then she's like, I'll check it out or something. And then she opens it, goes up there, and she just sees a bunch of boxes that they're used to, that they have up there. And there's nothing up there,
damn.
Damaris. I think it was just in your head. And I was just like, well, like, I guess kids do have a wild imagination. Maybe that's
yeah,
all it was. So I was
guess.
like, all right,
Ah,
whatever.
shit.
I guess that's what it was. And I strictly remember that because
Strictly.
after later that night when I went to bed, I got really thirsty, so I got up to get a glass of water.
There are
And
two
the attic
fucking
was down again.
alarms in our house
And I
that
saw
need a
the same
battery really
shadow
badly.
I saw earlier, and I just looked at it. And for some reason, I wasn't scared when I was looking at it. Like before, I was definitely afraid. But I looked up at it, and it moved across.
Looked up
and then
at it?
I saw like a face on the shadow. It was like,
Oh, yeah, did you
I
get
don't know how to
one?
explain it, but it was like smiling. There was like a face, but there really wasn't a face. I don't know how to explain that. And it freaked the fuck out of me. I was like, excuse you, no. But in that
Excuse
moment,
you,
I was
ghost?
so scared, but I couldn't move. I just looked at it. I was just like,
I'm all tired.
and then the attic just closed by itself. And I just went to bed. The next morning when I woke up,
Yeah, if you're
I just thought
spooking,
it
I'm
was a
going to
dream I
sleep.
had. But cause I was younger, I used to wake up like really early, like around 7 in the morning to watch my cartoons. Ayy. So I left my room to go get like a glass of water or something. I forget. I remember I was going to go to the kitchen, and the attic was closed. So I thought it was just probably a dream. And I go to the kitchen to get a glass of water, and I look out the corner of my eye. I see a shadow move from the kitchen
Replace the
to
battery.
the living room, and I screamed. I screamed so loud. I woke my mom, and my mom came out running for me. And then I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't be like, hey mom, the shadow went to the living room, help me.
Yeah, the ghost burned her
I
house
didn't know
down.
what to do. So I was just like, I just screamed. I was telling her I was playing a game or something.
I was just playing a screaming game, Mom. Oh, Mom.
So terrifying.
Knocked the hat off her.
And then I just kept seeing the shadow all the time, and it just freaked me out. But it got worse when my brother was born. Like,
Just
when
that
when we brought my
alone.
brother home, it was
Please.
pure evil. But then I thought, oh my god, I'm not baptized. My mom.
This has
I
been 9
My
hours?
stepfather
Yeah, I'll probably
baptized,
stop.
My brother got baptized.
I'm really enjoying
I'm
fighting
the only one in
things
the house who
and
didn't get
listening to
baptized. Who
ghosties
keeps
stuff.
seeing all these things. And I do remember that if you're not as religious,
Religious.
enemies are more willing to come towards you.
No,
And
Ma.
I thought
Oh,
that's what it
okay,
was.
but
My
it
mom
was
kinda
like, but it
started
was
to
a
believe
face,
me
but it
because
wasn't
I thought
really a
something happened.
face
She never
boop,
told me
and
what it was.
each
But
just
she told me
closed by
something
itself,
freaked her
and the
out.
next
I
morning,
saw.
why,
And she
I
said
went
she's
to
gonna
get a
get me.
glass of
Why?
water,
And I
but
ended up doing,
then
like,
I
the
thought
first
it was
like,
just a
baptism,
dream,
like,
and I
communion,
boop went to
my,
the kitchen to Hitler.
what's that thing called? It's just like
No,
you take
Ma.
the bread.
What are
Okay,
these
I did
oranges?
basically everything
Oranges.
I needed to do. So once
No,
I got
Ma,
I
I-
started going to church all the time. I thought I would finally
Wait,
stop.
I'm not baptized.
I did it. In fact, this day freaks me out to this day because I still
This
do
day?
not understand how logically this could have happened. So when my brother was about, I want to say 6, 7 months old, he was still crawling. He didn't know how to walk yet. So he was crawling on the floor and stuff. And my stepfather was like, hey, Damaris, and my stepbrother, I remember him being there. I'm gonna go take a shower, watch the baby. And I was like, alright, fine, that's cool. And so
Climb
we
up that
did
rope.
because we had like a gate. We had a baby gate on the stairs because our stairs were like, we had stairs going down to go to the basement. And
Social
like,
glitch.
we didn't want him to fall down, so we got a gate. But somehow the gate broke. I don't know how, even though it was like bolt into the wall. It broke magically, don't know how. So what we did was we put his playpen, his big playpen right there, so like if he went towards there, he wouldn't fall. Because we didn't want him to
Get out of the
hurt.
way. Can't you see I'm murdering
And
someone?
The staircase is about this wide. Well, not this wide, but like to the camera. Okay, so let's say this is the staircase. The playpen's about
Why
this big,
always
so
the
it
room
was big enough
descriptions?
That past the staircase, there's
Okay,
no way
staircase
that the baby
here.
could have moved it or anything. And so I was like, okay, let's get a board game real quick so we could play with.
I think I
while
fucked
we're
the game
waiting for
because
her
I
to get
fucked
out
a mission
and
up.
watch the baby. So we go to my room for like a
No.
minute. 1 minute. I don't even think it was a minute because the
Wasn't
boy
that
was
it?
like laying on my bed. I just grab him and come back,
No, Ma.
and I can't find the baby. Like he's nowhere to be seen.
I'm
And
not
I was
baptized.
so scared because
Baby gate.
he was like, he's my little brother. He was like my only little brother, and I couldn't find him.
It's like my only
I
little
couldn't find him
brother.
anywhere. And I was just like calling out his name. I was hoping I hear something, hear anything, and I hear him crying. And I didn't know
Okay,
who he
I know
was.
the story's
He was
made up
crying,
now.
And I couldn't find him. And I was so scared because
You're getting
my
weird.
brother, and I couldn't find him. So I looked down.
This just crossed into
stairs,
a
and he's
fucking
sitting right
weird
there.
thing.
And he's just sitting. I thought he was hurt. I pulled the playpen apart and I run down the stairs and make sure
Run
he's
so
okay.
fast.
And he's crying, and then he stops crying. He just starts like laughing, like giggling.
They
laughing.
got him!
And I got really scared. He was looking at like this corner. I turned and I saw the shadow, and I was like, no. Like took off his shirt to make sure he didn't have any bruises. I checked his legs. I checked everything to make sure he was okay. He was
Ghost,
fine.
don't you fucking
And
touch
then
him.
I screamed out for myself. I was like, I don't know how, but he fell down the stairs. And then he said, did you put the playpen? I'm like, yes, I put the playpen. And he was so confused. So then we called my mom. My mom left work early. She came to the house to get the baby.
Somehow the
We
baby
to
got-
the hospital just to make sure he was okay. We got him MRI scans. We got him like all these scans to make sure his brain was okay. He was only 7 months old. He was still really little.
Did you get an MRI
Nothing's wrong with
scan?
him. Thank God. And every time I think about that, brings chuggles up my spine because it did it. And that's
Just
scares
'cause
me
the
because
baby
they tried
got past the
hurting
baby
my
gate?
brother. Like an innocent baby. Tried hurting an innocent little baby. After that, things started spiraling out of control. My brother
Okay.
started having a seizure one day, and it was terrifying.
I think
his
there-
eyes rolled to the back of his head, and he just started shaking viciously. And he's healthy. We didn't understand what it was. So we called 911, but for some reason the phone wouldn't. It wouldn't dial. I put 911. I called. It wouldn't go through. And I started like crying. I
But
didn't
my
know what
brother
to do.
fell down.
And I slid the phone to my mom to call her, and she says, "Where are you going?" So I'm gonna get grandma, because at the time my grandma and my aunt lived downstairs. So I ran barefoot across to get them.
Ew,
and then
ew,
I was
ew.
like, "It's the baby. There's something wrong. There's something wrong." And they come with me upstairs, and then they're trying to like to get.
Oh,
him
it won't
to, like,
even
at least,
go insane?
Like I don't know, but she was trying to give him his bottle, but his head was.
Oh,
his
tackle
eyes
him,
was
okay.
back of his head. He was just like, and I was so scared. And I got the mom called 911, and then the cops, the paramedics came, and they took him. My mom and him went to the ambulance, and I was just alone with my grandma. And I remember when we went back into the house, I saw the shadow face again. After the seizure, it just stopped. Like it stopped.
The
which
shadow
I
face
was
did?
pretty happy about, but I didn't understand why. Like, my stepfather was still living there, my brother was still living there, everything was like fine. And then one night, I was sitting on my floor, my room, playing on my keyboard. The closet door's open, and I hear this growling noise, and I see the shadow face.
A round noise?
I ran, I screamed, and I was like, and Jorge was the only one home, and he said, what happened? I was like, I heard something in my closet, and then he went in my room to like see if anything was there, and there was nothing in my closet. And I just remember hearing that growl to this day. I can still hear it. This is like the big points. Like there was little things that that the shadow whatever it was did. But these are things that are like really freaked the fuck out of me the most.
What else did
So
it do?
yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Paranormal experience
So,
because there's a lot
yeah.
more. But this was just in the house I grew up in. Anyways, guys, have a
Okay,
nice day.
do I end the stream or what?
And I'll see you in the next one.
No,
Bye, guys.
keep listening more, guys. Let's keep this going like a 90-hour stream. Story time. My house was haunted.
So this is gonna.
She might be. On my night in a haunted house.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And it's time for my very last Halloween story for this year. I really hope you guys have kind of been enjoying this little series.
Oh, we didn't listen to this girl?
Always talking. There's a dog running around outside, and she's like
Haunted
trying
house
to have a
vlog.
conversation with him. Molly.
I lived in a haunted house
He's
with
gone.
pictures.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to my. He left. Maybe it was a she. She had on pink collars. I really don't know. But
Stream for so long, you become a ghost. Did we do this girl? Oh, she looks young. Embarrassing adventure fail.
Hi guys, it's Corey and welcome to another storytime video. This storytime is actually perfect for Halloween because it's actually about my haunted house experience, or I guess adventure, that completely failed. So just like all my other storytime videos, this has to do with my middle school age range. So I don't remember exactly what grade I was in, but it was sometime during middle school, so either 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. I believe it was 6th or 7th, but I'm not 100% sure. So in between that age range. Now you have to understand that I was a very anxious child growing up. I was scared of absolutely everything. One time I walked in on my sister.
Masturbating.
And
there we go. Hey guys. What up, YouTube?
Hi guys! So it's and I'm so excited because Halloween is my favorite time of year.
Quiet.
So it's going to be the perfect time to tell you guys about some of my paranormal experiences. I'm going to be doing a series of videos about these experiences, and this video is going to be about the haunted house that I
She walked in on her
for
sister, what?
3 years. So I've had a lot of paranormal experiences throughout my life.
My family's very
especially
psychic.
in my childhood and throughout my
Okay,
teenage years.
you gotta do this quest.
And I'm someone that is very superstitious. I do believe in ghosts, I do believe in demons and the afterlife, and I know that not everybody does believe that, and that is absolutely fine. It is certainly not
It always is, though.
and everyone has their different beliefs. But I've
do
had
that
so
one.
many experiences, and I thought it would be a really fun idea to share with you guys
Oh, is that
my
just across the
experience
street?
in the house I lived in Singapore. So to start off, I'll give you guys some background information on this house. So my family and I lived in Singapore for about 5 to 6 years, and we lived in this one house for 3 of those years. It was such a beautiful house. It was big, it was modern, it was
Scoot
so
on out of
lovely.
here.
But so many things happened in this house.
Jog on.
And
Jog off.
It was so terrifying to live there. And to this day, my friends, my family, all believe that it was truly haunted. The first experience that I had was when I was about 15 or 16 years old. And I just turned off my light, I was getting ready to go to sleep.
How long have you been playing this garbage?
Like 9 hours?
Cold. And I started getting goosebumps and pins and needles all throughout my body. And then I felt
Oh, this garbage? 0 hours. I haven't started
pressure
any
on my
garbage.
chest, all throughout my body, and I couldn't move.
Playing that golden
I could
shit.
not move. I couldn't scream, and then I heard.
I wish you'd talk
whisper,
louder then.
A voice whispering my name, and I tried to scream. I tried to get up. I tried to move, and I couldn't. I was paralyzed with fear. I just could not move, and this lasted for about 60 seconds. It was the most terrifying moment of my life. And as soon as I started to feel movement coming back,
Eat something, you dork. I'm
into
thinking
my
of
body,
making some
I
hot
ran out of
ramen.
bed. I ran to my door,
Like
opened
good
my door
spice.
wide, turned on the lights, and I just couldn't sleep for the rest of that night, or properly ever again in that room, because I was so terrified.
I missed it.
The second major experience that I had in this house was when I had a group of my girlfriends sleep over. So they all came over to my house to spend the night. We were playing games upstairs on the top level, and we decided to go back downstairs to get some food, play some more games. And we went down the stairs.
Games
It was
like what,
pretty
like
dark.
video?
Everyone in my house was asleep. most of the lights were off, but the lights
Please
in the
go in
living
that
room
window.
were still on, so we could still see.
You saw me, didn't
And
you?
suddenly, one of my friends screamed at the top of her lungs, and then my other friends all started screaming, and I was like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? Why are you screaming? And they were all like, look, and they pointed to the stairs, and I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything on the stairs.
Burn?
But they kept on pointing and screaming, and they ran to the other room, and I'm like, what is happening? What did you guys see?
Charcuterie.
And they said that they
I want to
saw
believe this
a
is.
girl,
No, I don't. Don't say it.
the ghost of a girl on the stairs, and she was
Just start a
almost in
fire with
position
someone
where she was
sleeping.
crawling towards them, and they were absolutely terrified, as you would be. And we were so scared that we ran upstairs.
Oh, an
we got my
explosion
brother.
barrel.
He didn't really want to come down, so we went to my dad, woke him up. It was in the middle of the night, mind you. Woke him up, made him come downstairs and see what was going on. And we told him what we had seen, and
Oh, I
he
thought it
was
blew up.
a little bit freaked out, but he looked around. He said, "Look, girls, you're probably just seeing things. There's nothing here."
Girls.
But he did seem a little
But he
scared.
did see a ghost.
I don't know if he saw anything. He obviously wouldn't say anything to us because there were 5 teenage girls screaming,
Where's that barrel?
petrified. So after that, we all ran into the living room, closed the door, brought down all my blankets and pillows, and spent the rest of the night in that room
Saw a little girl
watching
down there.
movies, just huddled together because we were
I
so
saw-
scared. We even called one of my friends to come to the house because we were so scared. And one of my girlfriends, Megan, she was so petrified that she actually called her parents and they came to pick her up because she couldn't spend one more moment in this house. She could not spend the night there. She was so scared. And after that, none of my friends ever came
Jump
back
over
to
and
my house
murder.
to spend the night. Okay, so the third experience
Is this the new
that
Metal Gear?
my friends and I had in this house was when
story is.
my girlfriend and I, we went out. We'd had a bit of a long night drinking,
Brain 'em.
and she was really sick. So I called one of my friends
Maybe scared of your
to actually come
bullshit.
over and help take care of her, make sure she was okay. So she was going to stay the night in my bed, and he was going to stay on our 3rd floor in the guest room, which was actually the gym and the guest room in one. And a
Do you live in
whole
an
wall
Australian
on the
giant
side
mansion?
of the room was just mirrored, and this was because it was used as a dance and exercise studio by the people who actually built our house. So the bed was here, the gym was kind of in the middle.
The room layouts.
The whole
Why
room
always
was on this
this?
side. And
So I was
not many
here.
people had actually stayed there. None of my friends had stayed there before, so he was the first one to spend the night up in that room. So after we'd taken care of my friend, he went upstairs to go sleep. And the next day, he
Let's see him
took
zoop
me
away.
aside and he said, "Never really experienced anything
Never
like this
again.
before, but that room was so creepy." He said he had trouble sleeping. He felt like someone was watching him the whole night. He said he felt
The dad
a
said
presence when he was in the room, and he said he saw things in the mirrors, he saw
Target escape,
shadows,
okay.
and he couldn't sleep. He was so terrified. And after that, after he told me about this experience, I did begin to realize that I had also felt a presence in that room throughout the house, but definitely in that top room. The mirrors obviously didn't help because that is creepy, having a whole wall of mirrors just right next to you when you're asleep.
Yeah, what kind of fuck house do you live in?
But I spent an hour
that
in there
train?
every day when I was exercising, and I did feel that uneasiness in that room before and after he had told me about this.
I felt the
And
present. I felt like I
yeah,
was
he
being
was too
watched.
scared
Felt
to
the
stay in my
present.
house after that experience. I can remember
Where's that
many
fast travel?
other instances where I felt so scared. My bedroom was a terrifying place for me. It was not a safe place. I did not
It was
enjoy
not a safe space.
being
It's
alone
actually
in
not.
my room at night. It got to the point where I just did not sleep, and to this day I have developed trouble sleeping because I was so terrified to fall asleep in the dark in my own room. I remember nights where I would see shadows at the end of my bed. I would hear whispering.
Just so you know, I do
hear
exercise. I'm
touching.
fit.
being held
you can't say
down, just a
shit.
coldness traveling throughout my body, and it was terrifying. My mom even got
Have
me
you
a
tried
pink lamp for my
magnesium
room
yet? My
to
balls
have
are
on at
fucking
night so that
swollen.
I could sleep
My
properly.
T levels are through
So
the
not
fucking
only
roof,
did I
and my
have
shits are frequent.
many paranormal
Monstrous
Magnesium
and
does it?
clogged my toilet.
a lot of
I
death
feel like a
was
new
associated
man,
with the
like my
house.
old self
2
was
of our
Dr.
pets
Jekyll,
actually
and my
died
new
within a
self
few
is
weeks of
Mr.
each other.
Hyde. Also
Really
gay.
unexpectedly,
Also, okay.
one of them, my
Oh, you got
puppy,
booped.
Tim Tam,
Yeah, this chick doesn't
he
have
was
a
about 3
faulty
years
smoke
old. He
detector.
was so healthy, and just all of a sudden he died, and that was obviously a shock to us.
All of a sudden died.
And also,
Okay, so
my parents
magnesium?
decided to get a divorce.
I'll try it. Is this
when
a
they were
trick?
living
I'm
in
gonna
a house,
Google it
so
first.
The house was associated with a lot of death, a lot of unhappiness in our lives at the time, and we don't know what would have caused these paranormal experiences. It was a relatively new house. So another thing that also happened
The
while
shit
we were
turned
living
literally
in
green.
this neighborhood was that there was a murder. About 4 houses down from where we were living, the maid had actually
Don't let them kill more than
murdered
2 civilians.
the
And that's how
owner
you
of
get
the
her?
house. She had, over the years, developed so much hatred towards her owner that she had decided to kill her. She had murdered her. And this was obviously quite a shock to the people in our neighborhood, and obviously the house was blocked off. There were police, there was yellow tape, and that was very creepy to be living houses down from someone who had been murdered. And from what
You're the
I
real
knew
victim,
about
Sarah,
this
that you had to
case,
deal with that.
she had
Don't
been
quit doing that.
dead for quite a while, which is even creepier. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about all the experiences that I had in this house, and I have so many more to share with you. So if you're interested in
Switching
seeing more
meds.
videos
Yeah.
like this, let
That's
me
what I
know
have to do
because
on
I will
Monday.
make it into a series.
And
So
hopefully
give this
it'll
video
change my
a big
life
thumbs
into-
up and I will do more.
No,
I'm
I'll
also
be
planning on
pressing.
doing some more Halloween related videos and some makeup tutorials, which I'm really excited
Yeah,
about.
girl.
So let me know what you guys would like to see. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you. Bye.
I love you. That would have bingoed so fast, just that last minute. There'd be a Moida. Why haunted house story? I lived in a haunted house. Is this a little girl?
Throw, please.
Why haunted house?
Hey everyone, it's Naida. I kind of wanted to make a story time video today, but I'm a little bit creeped out because just right now I
Scared
heard something
already?
crash in the kitchen, and I'm home alone. So, goodness. This
what is that?
A story
Nothing?
about
Upgrade my
multiple
man,
incidents
loser?
that happened in the haunted house that I used to live in. Yes, it was haunted, or so I believe. Let me give you this story. Okay, so the house was built in like the 90s. My parents ended up researching this because they didn't tell us. There was a family who moved in from
Why are you listening
Florida.
to
Yeah, it was Florida.
these?
It was a mom and dad and a teenage daughter.
Florida mom.
And the daughter went to the high school there in the town, and she ended up getting a boyfriend, and
She ended up getting a
broke up.
boyfriends.
And one day,
A boyfriend?
she was home alone, and he came over, and they were talking because he wanted to get
Only
her
90s
back.
kids will get
She
this
didn't
haunted.
want to, and there was a fight.
Okay,
And
if I restart.
basically, what happened was he was like, "Okay, fine. If I can't have you, then no one can." And he took a kitchen knife and he stabbed her to death in her kitchen. So
This doesn't. Okay.
he leaves. There's like a canal, like a creek thing that runs by like a block away from the house, and he threw it in there.
These are just
And
YouTube
then he
videos. I'm
goes
looking for like
home
my
and calls
paranormal
her
or my
parents,
haunted
and he's
house
like, "I've been
or
trying
my
to get
scary
ahold of your
story,
daughter
and then
for,
sort
like,
by upload date.
past hour, and she hasn't gotten back to me, so you might want to go check up on her." So they go to the house and they find her, and it's obviously
Okay, so did this
devastating.
just fuck everything I did?
And they end up moving out of the house.
Yeah, good.
And
Can I
I'm not sure
upgrade
if they
my-
moved back to Florida, but I know they moved out of the house because they just like couldn't take being in there anymore. And then the
let's
owners
see.
that
Yeah,
lived
good.
before us moved in. And technically,
Remain undetected is my
if
quest.
an
Okay.
incident like that happens, the real estate people are required to tell you if it happened 5 years prior to
I
you
fucked this
moving in.
quest up.
So I guess they knew,
Oh,
but
he's all the way
we
here?
didn't. They can tell you if you ask, but my parents didn't ask because they thought this house was built very
so this guy
recently,
just,
like,
oh, that's so good. This guy just ran away and went on a boat, and all this time he's
so it was just
getting away
the first
from me.
owners, and then the owners that lived
Shit.
there before us, and then it was us. So right as we moved in, it kind of felt like eerie, kind of cold. Like it was actually like always cold in that house, which is very strange. And we moved in, and I remember my room was smaller than the room that I'd had before, and I was younger. I was like 9 or 10 when we moved in there. So I wanted a lot of space, and I asked my mom if she could get me a smaller bed for my room, and she did. But she ordered it, so it was still coming in.
Stupid mom.
And I had this bed that is right behind me, and this one was put in the guest bedroom downstairs. So I had to sleep downstairs in the guest bedroom on my bed, and it was just really strange. Like, I could feel someone watch me, and then, like, I could
Felt
hear,
being
like,
watched.
footsteps in the kitchen, and, like, I'd hear, like, wine glasses clanging together, and I'd just hear, like,
Your
really
parents getting
strange
pissed.
things in the kitchen.
Huh?
And I was like,
Ooh, what's that
Mom,
wine?
I keep
strange.
hearing things at night in the kitchen, and she's like, it's probably just the dishwasher, like, that's nothing.
Pay
And I was
no
like,
attention to that. Yeah, it's a dishwasher.
that's not it. And I think I spent like 2 nights downstairs because I couldn't take it anymore. I went into the garage, grabbed my sleeping bag, went upstairs to my room, and I went to sleep because I could not. I could not. It was terrifying. And we actually ended up not moving, but we went to Mexico, to my parents' hometown for like 3 weeks or something, like a month.
Just allowed in someone's house.
For vacation because it
I
was
don't
the
care.
summer.
Make
and
me something.
my parents' friends were actually there and in my town here in
Please.
California. They were gonna have a kid here, so they were staying with us. They were staying downstairs in the
There's a
guest bedroom.
bottle here?
And when we came back,
what's
the
that?
girl, she was like, she said Cynthia. That's my mom's name. She's like, Cynthia, have you been hearing things in your kitchen?
Oh, I am not fucking shitting. Yeah, mate. You'll feel the benefits of 1,000 milligrams of magnesium
here
within
longer
a
than
few
I have,
hours.
technically,
Your
so
libido
I
will
wouldn't
return,
know.
and your
I
shit
wonder-
will be
And
explosive.
She was like, okay.
Yeah, I gotta take magnesium. I
And
wonder.
It's the only
They
supplement
moved
that I've
away,
taken
nothing
that
really happened
actually
for a
has
while.
some kind of
Let's
effect
see,
on my
where
body.
do I start
Also
with the
gay.
story? So there's a few. This is a small
What did
thing.
she
So
say like that?
sometimes I would
Oh
be
shit!
upstairs
Record
in
that,
the room,
dude.
just chilling, and then my
chilling.
mom would be downstairs cooking, and I'd hear her, like, in her voice, call me. She'd be like, Naira!
They go over the feelings and
like
details
that,
of
like,
lives,
she
and they
needed
speed
me.
through the scares. What's wrong with these people?
And we had, like, this, like, loft with a balcony that kind of looked down
Holy
into the
fuck,
kitchen.
there literally could not be
What?
less of a story
What
here.
do you need? Like, do you need anything? And she'd be like,
Basically, there cannot be literally, seriously less of a story here.
you just, you said my name, and she'd be like, no,
Don't crash.
I didn't. And I was like,
Did you just freeze?
okay. 'Cause,
Is that
like,
the end
I
of the
could hear it
stream?
from the kitchen, you know, like when
Oh,
you
you're
hear
touching
a
the
sound
cord.
from a certain room. I could definitely hear it, and it was her voice, like it was my mom's voice.
Is the stream
It
still
was
going?
so strange. Another thing that happened to me. Oh
It was so
goodness.
strange. Anyway.
So this is the only time I physically like saw anything. I was downstairs doing chores. I was mopping, and my mom was upstairs taking a shower. We were the only ones home. And I was mopping, and we had like this staircase that it wasn't a spiral staircase, but it kind of made one turn.
Close cord.
You know, and it was like in the middle of the house. And I was going around the staircase, and then right here. Let's see how I can explain this to you guys. So
Why
this
the
is
room
staircase,
layouts?
and on this side was the guest bedroom and the guest bathroom.
Look at all the wood they need for
So,
this. That's fun.
in the guest bathroom, the door was like slightly open. It was like cracked, and in that crack, I saw this girl just like glaring at me, like
Go!
I can't even
Please.
make that face. Like she just looked mad. She looked pissed off.
You saw an
And I was
angry
like,
girl?
Okay. And I just like went around with my mop, and like I kind of hid behind the stairs for a while because to get up the stairs I had to
Don't
get
run me over.
right in front of that door because this kind of like started right there. So I was just like
Sabotage,
standing
yeah.
there for a while until I calmed down, and then when my mom came down after taking a shower, I was like, Mom, I just saw a girl glaring at me in the bathroom, and she was like, okay, like I don't even know if she
Okay,
really
as
believed
if I
me.
care,
think she
dude.
kind of did, because the longer we lived there, the creepier like it got. My mom would always be cold, always, like bundled in robes and blankets.
Throw in the water.
At least one robe, but usually more, and she would just be really slow, and it's strange because my mom is a Latina mother, and she is crazy all the time. And she's always happy, and she's screaming, and like she's like going, she's insane. She's most of the time she's insane, and in a good way. Like she's a really happy person. And
I don't
when we were
like
there,
that.
she just wasn't like that.
She
No,
got a
I'm
call.
a hot mess. I just like had 4 or 5 phone calls. Okay, so I was saying that my mom was
It
acting
keeps
very
freezing
strange.
when the
like,
water was moving.
she was really like depressed, and I was
The
young,
water's
so
still moving
she
there.
didn't really tell me anything until recently. She was like, yeah, I was like so
There we go.
sad that I would go into my closet and just get into a little ball and cry, just because like she had this overwhelming sadness. And I also remember that she told me she knew things, like she knew things going on beyond just the people in my house. Like,
Why does this game freeze so much?
she just knew, and trust me when I say she knew, like she knew. And it was so strange. It was like someone was telling her, and it was so odd. Like, my mom has always like known things sometimes, but it was like way more intense in that house. I think whatever it was kind of
This is
like
what the game is
attaching
like.
itself to her and like making her weak, because she's never been like that, like ever, and like never again. She's never been like that again. One thing that happened to her that was so strange was she was washing the dishes and she had a knife.
Where's
And
that?
you know how
where's-
when you wash a knife, you like take the sponge and you do this on the dull side. Well, for some reason, she decided it would be a good idea to go like this on the sharp side, and she completely just like cut herself so deep.
That's
I'm pretty
fucked
sure
up.
she didn't want to go to the hospital, so she didn't get stitches or anything. But she
I
just
did
like
not want to go.
I
oh,
remember
yeah,
I was
it's
like
weird,
there,
but
and she
yeah,
just looked at her hand like,
makes you pay for it.
just happened. Like, it wasn't something that a normal, rational person would do. Like, no one would just like.
Oh, it's up a bit. It's over there.
And it was a kitchen knife. My mom didn't see her or anything.
I think you mean a kitchen
My
knife.
dad did. He would feel someone watching him as he slept, like this, like looking down on him.
I think he was having an
And
affair and he
said
felt
that
guilty,
he
and the mother kind of knew
looked
about it.
a few times, and he saw this girl like hovering over him in a red dress,
Where's this asshole?
and it just like creeped him out.
Oh, it's in.
But that's
okay,
like the
so
only
it's in
thing
this
that
book?
happened to him, I'm pretty sure.
But-
Most people are scared of going up the stairs at night because they feel like
I
someone's
scream as I go
following
up them.
Well, I really was. Because I honestly felt like someone was behind me every single
Okay.
time. I didn't have a TV in my room or anything, so I'd be downstairs watching TV in the living room, and I'd have to turn off all the lights and like run upstairs because I honestly felt like someone was there, like following me. Also, like everything that happened to me, at least, was downstairs, which is where she died. But it was just so strange. I
died?
remember like I'd be in the living room watching TV, and there was like the TV, and then a little tiny like
Yeah, I'm
hallway
supposed to
right
fucking
here,
get this
and
guy.
then it was where the stairs started, and like in the hallway, my dogs. This one, can you see him? Can you? This one, his name is Charming. Hello.
His name is Charming.
He was sleeping, so he's mad at me. Charming, and we had a golden retriever named Clarabella, and him and Clara would just like stare
I think
at
the game
nothing, and
fucked
I'd
up.
be like, "Hello," and they wouldn't move. They'd just be like, "What?" So that's
There should
all
be
that
an
happened
orange
to me in
man.
that house. There are like like other like teeny tiny things, like hearing things move or whatever. Like whenever I would shower, I felt like someone was watching me, which was just great. I would never like, whenever I put a sweatshirt on or like a shirt or anything, I would
when I'm in the shower,
scrunch it up at the top and then go like this, so that I wouldn't have it over.
Okay,
my
now
face.
the menu won't come up. This game is good.
Terrifying. I've had other paranormal experiences that didn't happen in that house. So if you would like me to talk to you about them,
let me
just
know.
leave a comment down below, and I will make that video for
We'll make
you.
it so all this
Some of them
unsaved
are even
progress.
cooler than this one.
The
I
current
hope you
memory
liked
will
the
be
video.
lost.
And if you'd like
Do I have
any
to do
more
this?
storytime videos or any videos really, like just leave me requests down below because I have no idea what to film most of the time. See you guys next time.
It's 5:15. End the stream. I want to go to bed. Stream is kill. Yeah, okay. Ugh. I got a nose swamble. It's crashing anyway. Okay, the stream is done. This game is an ad. Don't do it. Continue. If playback doesn't begin shortly. Spartans, don't end it. No, don't. Please don't. End the stream. Stone story time. Yeah, I don't know if I could. Why does this keep happening? Is Fester in my computer all the time or what? What happened to my computer net? Look at this blonde sundoll. Never mind, keep her going. Different types of weed dealers. Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome to.
Look at this chick.
Lately, I've been obsessed with henna. I literally cannot stop doing it, so I want to show you guys that really quick. I constantly.
Got henna on
And
her
so
leg.
I have to preface. Hey guys, it's Francis. So if you know me, I kind of tend to have really bad luck with electronics, and so I have to preface this video by saying that my camera has fucking broken again. Yes, I'm not
Broken
even
tech
kidding.
right
Like,
away.
it just broke a couple weeks ago. Nothing has happened. Like, it was supposed to be all fixed, but it broke again. Like, legitimately, I was in the middle of filming and it just froze up. I mean, it will turn on, but the screen is like all fucked up and it's literally just unusable. So that sucks. That really sucks. I'm using Bella's camera to film, which I've had to do several times, so shout out to Bella for letting me use her camera. But I am going to be talking to you guys about my ghost story, like haunted house experience, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. I was originally going to film this video with someone else as well, but I was getting a bunch of requests to do a stone story time on Snapchat, so I'm just going to do that
Okay, good. It's
for
saved
you
on the
guys
sheet.
and get it out because I think you'll enjoy the story. And I'm going to be smoking a bowl as always, of course. So, gonna hit this.
Weird. She seems like a pleasant enough person, but she smokes marijuana. Some criminals can hide. Yeah, get him. What? Is he invisible? Oh, he went underground, you fucking idiot.
Also, for any of you guys who wear makeup, my eyeliner.
It's a makeup girl, too.
It's on fleek, and I'm really proud of it. So
It's
like,
on fleek. Yeah, what the fuck
I don't
is
know.
that? Tricky loser,
I feel like
tricky
whenever
loser.
my eyeliner is having a really good day,
on
then
fleek.
it kind of makes me feel better the entire day. External gratification, I guess, but what can I say?
So this story time takes place when I was probably like 7 years old. And up until this point, I had always lived in the same house my entire life, except for when I was a baby. But all of my conscious life, I remember living there when I was little. And we decided to move into a bigger house, and it was actually just like a couple blocks away within the same neighborhood. And the neighborhood was like a little community, and it was really cute, and my mom loved it, so she was happy to be moving not too far and to be in the same area.
Have a rip. Pot asthma. I'm glad I did.
We only ended up living in this house for probably a year. And there were several different reasons for this. And some stuff that was happening was super weird in the house, and that probably contributed to the reason why we moved out. I was probably 8 or 9 because we only lived there a little over a year or so. And so yeah, I was like 8 or 9 when we moved out, and I remember I was going into 4th grade when we finally got situated in our new house. So when we first moved in, everything was pretty normal, and this was a really big house. Like, it had 4 floors if you counted the attic, but the attic wasn't done. It was kind of just like a bunch of like floorboards, and then there was like some boxes up there and a little window, but like it was kind of dangerous and like rickety, so no one really spent much time up there. It was just like extra storage.
Loops, bongs, and phones. That's a major dankety do.
I'm gonna shut the window because the smoke just blew right in there.
Right in there.
I saw it.
I actually did.
So as I said, I was like probably like 7 years old at the time, so I wasn't as aware of what was going on in the house as my mom was. Neither of us are superstitious in really any kind of sense. Like, we're very rational, and I've never grown up being superstitious. Like, there's little things I'll do that I guess you could call like superstitious. I definitely don't discredit other people's opinions on shit that's happened, and I think there has been some really weird shit that happens because I believe in different energies, and I don't really know what goes on in the world, but I've never been one of those people who's like, oh, I believe in ghosts. So, you know, this is an experience that wasn't like we were looking for something scary to happen, like we were feeding into it, like it was just weird shit. So the first weird thing that happened, I was aware of. Even though I was 7 years old and I was off playing and doing my thing, like totally distracted by school and my friends. So I was like, oh, I'm 7, like just chilling, like don't gotta care about the world, didn't know shit about the real world yet. So doors would randomly just slam in the house. It was an old house, so my mom kind of just, she thought like, oh, okay, it was probably just drafty, like something totally normal to explain what was going on, because no one's first thought, like unless you're super superstitious, as I said, like is, oh, it's ghosts. She was like, okay, like doors are shutting, but then she started to realize like it was kind of bizarre. Like there wasn't necessarily any kind of draft because the house had been like restored and it was insulated, and then doors, she would like shut them, and the one that opened and shut the most was the door up to the attic, and it would just constantly bang open and bang shut, and she would check it. She would literally hold it and like yank on it to see if it were fully shut. Like it would be latched and everything, and then it, as like when she would walk away, like it would open and shut. And this would happen in the middle of the night. It would happen during the day. It wasn't any kind of like specific time that this was happening. Noises are kind of sketching me out now.
Yeah, she's
I'm, like,
getting
scaring
scared.
myself, you guys. What the fuck? Why am I filming this at night?
You're also smoking on a marijuana. I just laid down in the backyard and stared at the sky through the back of my skull.
So after the door slamming incidents started to occur on a more regular basis, my mom started paying a little more attention to it, and this is just what she's told me over the years. That's kind of just part of living in a little house. There's going to be creaks and weird noises at night, but she would be like on a floor and she would hear like noises coming from the top floor above her, and it would sound like footsteps, just like really weird creaking that she hadn't experienced in any other old house that she'd lived in. Like she would be the only one home, I would be at school, and she would hear these weird noises. And my mom started to become more and more unhappy living there because she was like, it's a really
This is the same story as the last
like,
girl.
I think she wasn't like feeding into it a lot, but she definitely was noticing. But guys, I shit you not, something really creepy happened.
No joke.
And this beats everything else, and I can't explain this. My grandma was spending the night, and the way that the second floor of the house was set up was there was like 4 bedrooms. 2 of them were like right next to each other, and then the rest were looping around.
like 2 more, and then there was like a bathroom or whatever. 2 of the bedrooms were like facing out into a 2nd-story porch. My mom was sleeping in one bedroom, and then my grandma was sleeping in the opposite bedroom, like literally all the way down the hall. So they were like completely apart from each other. My mom wakes up one night because she hears my grandma calling out to her. And so she like gets up and she walks down the hall, and my grandma's standing there in the middle of the hall. And my mom's like, hey, like, why'd you call my name? And my grandma
Where you going? Where you going?
Looks at her in the eyes, and she's like,
just let him run out.
I woke up because I heard you calling my name. Someone explain that. Fucking explain it. No, there's no explanation. There was someone else in that fucking house. There was something that was making that goddamn noise, and it freaks me the fuck out. They both woke up from like a completely heavy sleep, like they were just fucking sleeping. I was asleep in the middle in my room. I didn't wake up because as a kid I fucking slept through everything. I don't know how I did it. I still can sleep through a lot of things. I don't know. But yeah, I never woke up, but it just doesn't make any fucking sense, you guys. Like, I don't know how they both would have woken up, and they both like went into the room and like turned on the light and talked, and they were like, that's creepy as shit. We moved out of the house shortly after that, and no other experiences like that did happen, but for such a short time for us to be there, I think it's kind of a lot of weird shit to go down. Like, it's not like we lived there for years and there was one weird incident. It was like, we were there for a short amount of time, and stuff was constantly seeming weird and creepy. So if I had been more aware of what was going on and more able to comprehend it, I would have been like, shit, get me out of this bitch. Like I am out. Also, you guys, look at the bubbler that I'm using. It's seriously the cutest thing in the world. It's like pink and blue. I really like it.
Thank you.
And I just loaded another quick nug because
That's a sick nugs.
That's the end of my story, but I thought it was creepy enough that I needed to share it with you guys, and I might actually make a part 2 to this
mother and
video
grandmother once
telling
woke
my
up
friend Gavin's
because they thought they
experiences
heard the other person calling them.
it was definitely interesting, and I want to share that with you guys. So this is my question for you. If you've had any creepy experiences where someone has followed you or been creepy, or where you felt like there was a paranormal story, just like any scary experiences that have happened to you like this, just leave it down in the fucking comments. I want to hear your guys' stories, and I always find it so interesting to go through your guys' comments. And as always, follow my Instagram and Snapchat. Those are both down in the description. God damn it, this is a shameless self-promo. Definitely follow me on those.
Well, it's like your own video. So.
I try to reply to everyone on my social media, and if you contact me on Snapchat ever, I'm always there, and I am always willing to reply and talk to you guys. Stay high and subscribe, and I'll be coming to you guys with another video super soon. I got some requests for a rant video, and so that's
boys
also
time
going to be coming
7
up, so
bomb
be
rip
excited
combo.
for it.
Sending in the attack chopper, time to load another nug into the grenadier to brain the weeds right into your ass, shitbird.
Make a sound. Make a sound.
And yeah. Bye guys. Talk to you in my next video.
Did she have any other ghost stories? Ghost stories? Awkward high moments. 10 stoner problems. Smoke fox. Twax joint.
You sniffed it. You knew you're gonna record, and 3 fucking months. That's like 1 trimester. The fucking subscription incubator. Your baby is gonna come out a big shit log. Why did you stay here? Just
3 months,
clear your nose first before you even press the button. You knew you were gonna do that.
Look at her stoned eyeballs. First time getting high. We were smoking some bud I got from a friend. I hope. Oh, this was. Oh, no. YG, what up? Dear internet, I'm always available. Yeah, I want to see this one. That's a ghost. My haunted house. I don't know. Oh yeah, this girl.
Another episode of Ask Trisha, the show where you guys ask me questions and I answer them. So I go on Twitter and I ask you guys to hashtag Ask Trisha, and I just randomly answer them, and I don't look at any of them before. So this is like a fun little game where I just go on Twitter and talk to you guys.
It was like Marijuana Mermaid
we're in the same room. So let's get started. First question comes from Efron Carino at JoseFriend99. What time do you sleep and wake up? I'm kind of lame. I go to bed like between 9 and 10. But lately I've been trying to stay up later, like midnight 1, because I get up so early. Like I get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and that's just like too early for me.
Damn it.
I would love to get up.
There are ghost
I'd be
stories
happy
in
getting up
here.
at like 8 and like laying in bed till like 10:30. Like honestly, that's what I wish I could do because I feel like I have too much of the day. I think I'm the only
Trisha,
person
you
to
know
ever say that.
about her?
I think I have too much time
Is
in the
she
day.
famous?
But yeah, I am trying to go to bed later because I go to bed early. I'll get tired like 8:30. But
Oh yeah,
I
she's
like,
huge.
force myself to
She's a
Trisha till, like,
famous.
8:30. Or Neasley or whatever. Not like terrified of the dark, but I definitely.
Yeah, I think we're good. Hit by a car. Paranormal. You have a problem.
Today I'm doing my paranormal video, one of them, because I have 2 experiences. If you would like the other one, feel free to thumb this video up. It lets me know that you like these kinds of videos. So, let me just say this video was super scary to make because the memory still haunts me to this day, and talking about it,
You gotta end the
feel
stream,
like
dude.
lets them know. Lets the spirits
I lived in
know.
a haunted house.
Just kidding, but not really. I can't even watch scary
Hey, what's up, everybody?
ghost stories. Oh,
okay.
It is Nicholas, guys, and today I'm going to be talking about
What
how
is up, YouTube?
my house was haunted. Ooh. Now, everything that I'm going to be
switch back to
saying
the
is
girl now.
100% true. I promise you. I'm not lying. Nothing is fabricated.
100% true.
It is fucking creepy. So today's video also is going to be a collaboration with the beautiful Shannon Rose. I will link her channel down in the description. She also is sharing
The stream
a
can't
story
end.
about how her house was
Well,
haunted
I'm gonna be
as well, and
streaming
she has some
Raven's
really,
Cry
really spooky,
later,
spooky
so-
stories. So be sure to go check her channel out and
I have
subscribe to
to
her as
leave.
well.
Switch
So if you guys
Evie.
saw my last video about how
Switch.
the last house I lived was fucking haunted.
Switch.
There was orbs everywhere. Oh my god, it was fucking creepy. Like, this house was insane. I'm going to be talking about that in a future story. But if you haven't seen that video, be sure to go check that video out. I see why you
What
guys
is
are
it?
calling the black orb a dragonfly, but the orbs inside, nobody can explain that. A lot of people are fucking like, yeah, that is fucking ghost. Like,
fucking like-
orbs
Raven's
or
Cry
dust
is
particles
gonna
don't
be
move
tonight.
that way. Okay, so the house I used to live in was built in the 1800s. So I lived in this house for about
This
4 years.
Game is great.
And I got some
breaking
screenshots from Google Earth, and here are the screenshots. They are kind of crazy. You can't really see the house too well, but this was the house. It was gray. half
There's a
of it
fast
was different
travel.
color. This black truck right here was my downstairs neighbor's Lori. That's her truck.
You've done a 24-hour
She
stream
doesn't
before?
live there
That's
anymore
fucked up.
now. So right here in the
You're a
back of the
madman.
house, there was this old, creepy, like really, really creepy rundown shed, and I was never allowed to go
Enough
into
of this
it, but
rundown
sometimes I would
shit.
go into it, and there was just a bunch of crap just everywhere, stacked everywhere. Like, you trip if you went in there, it smelled like
Smells
old
like an
oil
orb in
and
here.
old wood, like antiques. Like, it smelled horrible. But like the creepiest part about it was there was like hundreds of melted candles. Like,
Melted, I think
candles,
you mean.
they were all different colors. They weren't just like one color, but these candles were like,
Cannot I
you know
see?
when you
Oh, you
melt a
already
candle
done
and
it.
the wax just like accumulates, it's just like a bunch of melted
Mm-hmm.
wax. That was everywhere throughout that place, and I wasn't allowed to go in it, but you know, it was in my backyard, and sometimes you get bored, so I would venture in there sometimes, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So this is the back of the house, and the top window, that was my room. So if you kind
Which
of
is
zoom
up
in
YouTube.
here, see how the back was newly painted when I lived in it. I lived in it for about a year, and then they repainted the back.
Do it.
But so this was my room right here, and then you can kind of see the old wood. You can see like the white
Open the distillery's
with
door.
like black everywhere, and that was because if you peeled off the chips of wood, because the paint was
Why'd
so
they build
old
these?
that you could just peel off the paint, and underneath was black wood. So this house used to be
Walk into a house and find a
giant-ass
condom
house,
surrounded
and
by
the house
dead
next door to this
flies.
house,
Yeah.
a woman named Georgia, she lived in that. The house was combined, so it was
Huge.
a giant house, and I guess the middle of the house caught on fire. Totally
The
burnt
middle of the house
wood.
caught on
I mean,
fire.
I don't know how it was even like, how you're able to live in something that is that burnt. Okay, so we lived in this house for about, I don't know, maybe like a year. I was young, so I can't really recollect time too well, but my mom
Oh, just
got,
stun tumor
a new
people and you got a
boyfriend,
thing.
who is my stepdad now, and he came and he started living with us, and that's when all of this creepy stuff happened.
Oh,
the
green,
first thing
green,
that
go.
ever happened in this house was
green's
I
help.
was in the room with my mom, and I was laying on her bed with her, and Steve, my stepdad, is sitting on this couch, and all of a sudden the corner of the couch lifted up and like dropped.
It was a Steve.
And he says that he went over to like go. He thought it was me. He went over to go look for me and be like, "Oh, I gotcha." And then he sat there and he's like, "There's no way she would be able to lift up this couch with me sitting on it as well." Like, also it drops without making any type of sound. Like, it's fucking crazy. So he goes in the room where I'm with my mom. He's like, "Were you just in that room?" Like, we're like, "No." And he's like, "Dude, the corner of the couch just lifted up. Like, that's so creepy." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. Like, I don't, you know? Okay, cool." So more time has progressed, and we're all sitting in the living room watching TV, and all of a sudden we hear this glass break, like shatter on the ground, like, and we're like,
whoa.
What the hell was that? So
What the hell?
we go look in the kitchen, and the cupboard is open, and so the cupboard's here. Here's the kitchen. Here is the
Why?
really small. Like,
Why in every story will they
so
explain the
glass
layout?
flew all the way over here and hit the ground near the dining area and broke, shattered, totally.
Yeah,
like,
is this the thing? Oh,
and we were like, oh. And that continued to happen, like at least like 6 times a month. Like another glass would break. Like we kept having to buy new cups and dishes because it was happening so often. And at that point, dude, I was really, really freaked out. So I was in my room and I'm trying to fall asleep, and all of a sudden, you know, it's all dark in my room, I don't have a TV on, anything. All of a sudden, I can feel the corner of my bed lift up. And I'm like, oh, and it just like drops. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was so freaked out. I ran to my mom's room, I started crying. I was like, what is going on? Like what just lifted up the freaking corner of my bed? Like, this is really scary. So, you know, when you're like an angsty little girl, like you always get in fights with your mom. Me and my mom used to fight, and when we would get into like
looking
really,
for a
really
fight
bad
there. He's an
fights, I
angsty
remember
little
this one
girl.
time, we got into this huge fight, and she was like, "Go into the bathroom and brush your teeth." So I was like, fine.
Kill
So
everyone
I
in the
walked
building
over
with the gas.
to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth,
a bit
and
negative.
okay, so here's the bathroom, and here is my mom's room, and I look in my mom's room, and I see this fucking woman sitting on the corner of my mom's bed, and she's wearing this white dress.
White dress.
Sandy-ish brown hair. It wasn't brown, but it was like a light, dirty blonde. White dress, and she was like in her 20s, and like,
Damn.
you know how when you walk
What are
past people, you
measurements?
kind of glance and then you like go. And like the weird thing was, when I saw her, I wasn't freaked out. I was really comforted. It was like a comforting feeling. It wasn't like a, oh my god, like what the fuck was that? Obviously after
I'm a
the
little
fact,
girl, so
when
I can't say
started,
it.
You know, brushing my teeth in the bathroom, I was like, wait, what the hell did I just see? But like I got freaked out after the fact when I realized what I just saw. But during the fact, I was really calm and like comforted. And that was weird. That happened 2 times when me and my mom would get in this huge fight. I would see this woman. Weird. So I started getting nightmares, like I kid you not, every single night. I had nightmares so bad that my mom used to tell me that I was on this giant fluffy cloud looking over all these nice things. Like, that was the only way. My mom would have to sit there and like caress me until I fell asleep because I was so freaked out. And like the weirdest part was, I would have these nightmares about slaves, okay? So one of these nightmares was
It was a plantation owner.
to get up to the part of my house, you have to walk up these stairs, and you can
Up
kind of
these
see the
slaves.
picture in the beginning. These stairs, and then here's the entrance. And I remember seeing this giant African-American guy, and he was holding like a bunch of chains just like all around him.
Shit.
I remember I was in the kitchen, I was playing jump rope with 2 African-American young girls, like they were my age, and they were both holding the jump rope, and I was jumping.
White guilt
and I
nightmares?
remember one of the girls, her whole body just disappeared, and her hand was just there, you know, twisting it to jump. I also had this nightmare about, I was in the kitchen. It was always in the kitchen, living room. Like, that definitely was the most haunted part of the house. The cupboard was flapping, and I put my hand, like, I was so mad that I was just like, come on, stop. Like, let's So I put my hand over the cupboard to stop fucking flapping around. Like, you're freaking me out. You know, I let go and it's still flapping. Like, I had this really creepy dream about my mom's room. Like, I was just having the creepiest, like, weirdest dreams. And I did look up, the town I used to live in was called Benicia, California. And it was the first capital of California. I learned that in elementary school. Benicia is the first capital of California, and there used to be, not a lot, but there were a few slaves in that town. So I don't know if, you know, maybe I was just like feeling energy or something, but like I'm pretty sure a first grader is not going to be like too knowledgeable about slaves, and that was like really creepy. I started doing bad in school because I was so freaked out about my house and sleeping. I started getting really bad grades and falling behind in school. So my mom hired this tutor. This tutor was African American, and she was extremely religious. And I remember the books that we used to have to fill out, you know, like the little, like the assignments were all like assignments from the Bible and stuff. And really, like, I wasn't too religious. Like my parents aren't too religious. Like, I'm not really religious at all.
But
and I started telling her about the stuff that was happening in the house, and she had only been there for 3 times so far. And
he just walks off
after
screen.
I
Yeah,
told
and
her
his
about
shadow
what
is.
happened in the house, she told me that I needed to start praying, and she never came back. She never answered my mom's phone
Girl,
calls.
you gotta pray.
Never came back at all. Like, that
Yeah,
was the last
then his
time I
shadow
ever saw her.
disappeared because you.
So that was a few stories about what happened in my old house, and
Okay, that's the whole
actually we were
stream.
watching home videos maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, and you can see some orbs fly by in the old videos, which is really creepy. There's
Okay,
a
well, this
couple
game is
orbs
fucking
in
up.
pictures, like old pictures that were taken inside of the house. Really fucking creepy. Also,
you have to cut
one more
us?
thing. So my downstairs neighbor Lori, she had a boyfriend too. I would always hang out with them all the time. Like, I would always hang out. I would tell them all the fucking creepy stuff that was happening. And I was like, you know, like, do you think this is haunted? Like, did
Yeah, what's
anything
your
ever happen
boyfriend doing?
happen to you? And she's like, well, I really don't believe in ghosts, but I was sitting on my
But-
couch in my living room, and
The
all of a
ghost
sudden
flew
this
up.
giant orb,
Ghost.
like,
Yeah.
full of colors, just manifested. Like, it was huge, and then it just disappeared. And like, I guess she was really shy about this subject of ghosts, but she did tell me about that, and I guess
Oh, it doesn't
really
cost
kinda
to
freaked her
craft
out, too. So yeah, in 2004 we moved out of the house, and we moved into a new house, and the house, nothing ever happened in the house. The house was totally silent. Like, I could walk downstairs and get a glass of water and not be freaked out. Like, I was so relieved to be out of this house, and
Yeah, what do you got? No.
just grateful to be out and not have, you know, my nightmares stopped happening, and I was free. I was lifted of the burden of living in a haunted house. So if you guys want more haunted house stories, be sure to like this video and leave a comment
Okay, the
down
stream's
below
done.
if you enjoyed this video. Also, be sure to watch Shannon Rose's video, and be sure to comment in her little comment box on her video. Nicole Skies loves you. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my scary story
Love
video.
you.
hope
Can
that
I
didn't
please
creep you
go
out
to
enough,
bed
or,
now,
you
Dad?
know,
I'm
maybe
all
it
out
creeped you
of
a
juice
little bit.
boxes.
I love you guys so much, and I will
Love
see
you guys
in my
so
next
much.
video.
Thank you for worshiping me. Oh, this is another big YouTuber. Yeah, okay, the stream's done. 3 to 4 videos a week, so... Okay, get out of here. God, that was a lot of shit. Just ate a lot of shit. You smell like such a big...